What's going on, Internet? The Black Okage here, aka TBH. And to be honest, I'd like to welcome you all back to the Game and Illuminaughty podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and you're now tuned in to episode 192. If you're watching the video version of the show at youtube.com/GI updates, know this show is available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and all other major podcast platforms. If you're watching on Apple or Spotify, please rate the show 5 stars. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button and then the hype button. When you hit that hype button, it helps bring in new viewers because we end up on YouTube's new hype charts, and it helps them find the world's best weekly gaming podcast. Now, if social media is your thing, we drop content there on our pages. We're available on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and Facebook. Our handle on most platforms is at GI Updates, with the exception being Facebook. It's facebook.com/GI Podcast. Links to all our social media platforms will be in the description box below at youtube.com/GI updates. Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce you to my co-hosts, the first of which was getting attacked like JG this week for promoting woke DEI slot propaganda that is Marathon. Ethos, say what up to the people.
The Destiny community, I'm not gonna lie, they might be one of the worst communities I have ever seen. I am shocked. I was not expecting that type of backlash for me just saying, yo, y'all are acting a little bit crazy. Yeah, y'all, I stand on what I said. Y'all, the way y'all acted about Destiny, I said it. Y'all, something. Nah, I'm not gonna say what we said. I just thought about it. I'm not gonna say.
You know what?
I'm gonna chill out.
All I ask is that
I missed your drama. I missed Ethos's drama.
I don't. I was nice and peaceful.
I always search y'all pages before I write my intros just to see what kind of fuckery did y'all get into this way.
You know what's crazy? I didn't even know. Just in case people know, I don't even care what happened because I muted it. Like literally, when I saw like I had started to get like 8 replies, and like I was just you're starting to see the people that aren't following you and they're just slurring you out, whatever it is. I was just like, mute. I ain't gonna look at none of this. And then I looked back at my Twitter post and I saw I was like, oh god, I have 200 something likes. And then I was like, look at how many retweets I had. I said, okay, somebody retweeted this into the ether, the dark space of Twitter.
I don't think half of it was real people. They're like bots to me.
It's always bots. It's all bots. Yeah.
There's a lot of bots that go after. They search for Marathon. Specifically.
Yeah, they are targeting Marathon. Yeah.
Unfortunate. That's a new problem in gaming. My second co-host, I was surprised to see her playing a game about a big ass hollow rat, considering she has a cat. You know, they attack rats. But anyways, there's 5,000 watts to the people.
She's a mouse, first of all. It's not even a rat.
Rat, mouse, they can all die as far as I'm concerned.
No, they're different.
Yeah, little mouse is different. You're right.
Yeah, they cute. Rats are smart, though.
Yeah,
rats are super smart.
And last but not least is the man who is known for being a quote tweeting demon who surprisingly didn't find himself in too much trouble this week. UTX Twitter fingers the Don. Say what up to the people.
Yeah, I was actually good.
Look at JD. Why are you doing
for the first time ever, man. Yeah, but exactly for the first time ever, I was good, man. Nobody attacked me. It's because I can talk about Drake or the Sony ponies, not playing their game. So there was nothing for them to get mad at me about this week. So we'll try again. We'll get them again next time. We got next week.
Better next time, JG. It's not supposed to be me, bro. Please do better.
Sensational. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Since last week's podcast, which is going crazy, we appreciate y'all hitting those hype and those likes. A bunch of games has dropped, and the crazy part is the next week, even more crazy news is going to drop because next week we got the big State of the Play, which is supposed to be 90 minutes, as well as the Summer's Games Fest, which I'm sure I'll remind you again at the end of the episode. So I'm sure next week's going to go crazy, but let's focus.
Isn't that Xbox showcase the day before we record the podcast too?
Yes.
With Gears of War happening.
So we got to be locked in on the weekend too. That's a Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a 5-hour episode.
That was the Gears of War one, right?
Yes, it's supposed to be. Or like, it's going to be like either at the beginning or the end of it.
It's at the end, yeah. They have the Xbox showcase and then Gears of War is right after.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited, though.
Why?
Damn, no, literally the day. Yeah, literally the day of.
You only gonna be playing it for 1 month.
Here we go.
Before we started recording, did we not just discuss we're only gonna be playing anything from anyway? Because everybody's about to drop all their games at once. So what are we talking about? Play it for a month. They're all about to be victims of GTA. It doesn't really matter, man.
Yeah.
But what was not a victim of GTA, and actually, I'm surprised. a lot of people have actually been screaming this is a easy shoe-in Game of the Year nomination. We're talking about Interactive IO's 007 First Light, which is an origin story for James Bond, starring a new one, taking you all across the world, trying to solve mysteries and spying and action and all that stuff. This is coming from the people who make the Hitman series. A lot of people are describing the game on an elementary level. They're basically saying it's like a combination of Uncharted meets Hitman. I think there's some other elements in there, like Batman Arkham, as well as like I see a little Sleeping Dogs in there too. It's a nice hodgepodge third person, very cinematic game that I'm gonna be honest, this game really wasn't. I mean, I knew I wanted to play it, but it wasn't like on that S tier of things that I was super excited. But I'm gonna go ahead and kick the conversation off by saying I do think it's a Game of the Year nomination. But I want to hear y'all opinions and see if we're kind of in alignment. Ladies first, give me the good, bad, and ugly on 007, Miss Watts.
Yeah, 007 is, I really like it. And I think it's definitely, and should be in the conversation when it comes to Game of the Year stuff. Whether it will make it there at the end, we'll see. But the thing that really impressed me is how authentic it is to James Bond. Like, it really feels like this was created by people who truly understand what James Bond is and how they can put that into a game. And I think a prime example of that is there's a tutorial section and they're doing it like a training montage. So you're going through this training montage of your young James Bond becoming James Bond and learning all this stuff. And
one of the best tutorials I've ever seen in a game.
It's amazing. Yeah, exactly. It is one of the best tutorials. And I was like, I was playing that. And I was like, this is so cool because you're getting this classic action movie montage going on, but it's acting as a way to teach you the game. And I thought that was just so good. But then you also have all of the stuff that comes from this studio's expertise with Hitman. So you have really interactive stealth stuff. So I think all of you, if you've streamed it, you've probably experienced someone going, wait, you can do that? I did something totally different, because you can really interact with the world in unique ways, depending on if you want to bluff to people and tell a little lie about why you're there, whether you want to try and sneak around the outside, whether you end up like picking up an item and pretending to be like a waiter or something. There's so many ways that you can interact with each of the missions that you do, which offers a lot of different gameplay variety, because there's a lot there. You hear different people saying stuff, you have different interactions with people and the environment based on what you do, which I think is really, really cool. And I think they've also used the James Bond and Hitman. I think they merged it really well, because you have like the sneaky stuff, but then you also have being able to bluff to enemies. I had one time which was crazy, because I was parkouring on a balcony and I jumped up the balcony, had to kick open the door because I couldn't just open it. And I was like, oh, I'm a building inspector, I'm checking for asbestos. And then I'm in the wrong room, so I have to go back off the balcony. And as I'm jumping off the balcony, he's like, did you find anything? And he's like, no, it's cool, it's all good. So there's some really funny things that happen. So I've just been having a really good time. Also, it looks really good visually, very good looking. I'm playing everything completely maxed out, ultra, and it's running at probably like a clean 100 FPS most of the time. So they really worked on optimization of this game too, because that was probably my biggest concern going into it, but not a concern at all. I think it's an easy pickup if, one, you like adventure games, two, if you like kind of stealth games, and if you like James Bond, I don't have to think about recommending it, because it feels like you're playing a James Bond movie, and I mean that in like the best way.
Playing this game made me realize that, and I swear I'm not trying to piss off the Hitman fans. I'm not a big Hitman fan. I think that they're good games. They're just not for me. I could never get into them. And playing this game made me realize my issue with Hitman is Agent 47 in itself. I get it. He's supposed to be a dull character. He's supposed to be boring. He's a super agent that has no feelings. I get it. It's boring to me. But when you take that sandbox formula and you give it to a sleek guy who's out here, whipping foreigns in every mission, pulling all the bad bitches, doing all this action shit, I'm like, okay, this is not bad. I was like, this is not bad. So like, it made me realize it's like, oh, I do like IO Interactives. I will say, I do think Hitman is more of a full-on sandbox type of game. I would say this is more diet sandbox. There is a lot of different ways to tackle the missions, but I noticed there's usually like 3 to 5 different ways. That being said, it's still really cool, all these different options. When I was playing, everybody in the chat was when I was streaming it, they were like, I never knew you could do that. I never did. That's cool. It creates replayability. I've seen clips on social media of people just running through and gunning it to the point where I was like, okay, I can see why some people were complaining maybe the game is too short. Because if you just play it like Uncharted, yeah, you probably are going to run through it really quickly. But I think if you engage with all the mechanics that it has to offer, kind of like the bluff mechanics she was saying, or using the poison darts or the flash camera, the parkour, the game has a lot to offer and it scratches a really big itch. I think this game is great because it's for people who just want to blow shit up, feel like a superhero, but then also it's a thinking man's game. It really rewards you for being like a critical thinker and thinking outside the box. And I think that's why I enjoyed it. I agree. I think the game looks great, runs great. I've seen some people saying it looks like a PS4 game. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. This is one of the best looking games of the year. Some of the best cinematic pieces that are super engaging. And also, I love the pacing of this game. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the gameplay loop is usually the first half of the mission is usually the stealth part, trying to figure out how to get from point A to B. And then once you find how to get into that room, which it gives you those 3 to 5 options, that's when the action and the shooting. So like, you can, I would recommend if you haven't played the game, try playing it stealthy. Because if you just play it like straight action, I do feel like you're missing out on half the game. But I don't want to yap and gush too much. Ethos, what do you think?
I beat it last night.
Okay.
I stayed up a little past my bedtime to finish it up.
You feeling it?
So I finished it, and I have to say, like, I was literally like this when I finished. I said, there is so many shout outs. Like, you could tell that the people that wrote the script for this entire game were Bond fans. There's so many like references of like other Bond movies from not just like Craig's, but like even the older stuff. I love every time you go to a mission, the little title sequence where it shows the title card and it's usually like a reference to one of the other 007s. It's so good. Somebody said on Twitter, which was really good. I'm pretty sure none of you got into the part yet. It's later on in the game. But the twist of what First Light means in the story aspect is more than just the obvious, like, oh, this is his first time becoming 007. There's actually a cool little like narrative tie-in characterization with that that has like the whole meme of he said the name of the game, like, but it's really good. And it's the funny part is it's not even just Bond. I feel like a lot of the core like supporting cast of this game, like Greenway is actually really compelling. Moneypenny is really awesome. M does a really good job too. Q does a phenomenal job. Like all the supporting cast actually are just really well done. Voice acting, the story wise, the cut scenes, everything you're talking about is really good. I think like I was really excited for this game going into it, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little worried I was going to put too many expectations on this game because I didn't want to make that mistake that I feel like a lot of people do where they just say, well, studio made X game, so I expect that this new game plays just like those games. And I think if you go into it and you're expecting like I want it to have the depth of like Hitman 2016, like I want to have that level of sandbox freedom where I'm going to be able to like do all these crazy, really out there type of things in this game. It doesn't do that. I agree with what you're saying. It is more of a diet sandbox, but I think that's also for the better because I think that it definitely helps with the pacing. It makes the pacing a lot more intuitive and just engaging for the player just off rip. I will say I was a little concerned. I was a little worried because there was a point of the game where I was just like the story where I was like, I was predicting stuff and it was happening, but I don't ever take that away and be like, oh, that just makes it bad. Cause I don't think just because you can predict the story, it makes the story inherently bad. But they did have a little cool twist near the end where I was like, oh, I didn't expect that. So that was really cool. But I think it hits all the tenets of a 007 game. I'd argue and say this is probably the best 007 game I think we've gotten. I think of this even with GoldenEye, and GoldenEye has a lot of nostalgia.
You just don't want to piss off the GoldenEye fans.
Yeah,
I'm gonna back you up. I agree with it. I've always said GoldenEye is overrated. It was a great game for its time, but if you play it now, it's not that great.
Yeah, I just think just overall, like the set pieces, the locations, the amount of different locations you go to, and each of them are different. It doesn't feel like, I don't ever think anytime I was playing, I was like, this reminds me of this other level that I was playing. Like every single one of them had this like cool, unique thing, or they add this like kind of what like it reminds me of Titanfall, where it was just like every hour they're throwing like a new type of mechanic or a surprise type of thing, whether it's like a different type of environment or a cool little gimmick, but they don't overuse it. You only get in that one segment and then they're done with it. Then they move on to something different. And I think that's really, really, really important. And I also love is that it doesn't overstay its welcome. I was worried at like a certain point when I was like 3/4 done the game. I was just like, okay, like, are we going to wrap it up? Like, what's going on here? And they're just like, we got one more surprise for you. And then they show the surprise. You're just like, oh, and you're just like, okay, this is awesome. And then I love that. Then it just says, okay, we're not going to like try to like drag you for another 15 more hours doing the same thing. You got the thrills, you got the chills, you get the girl, all that sort of stuff. You got to feel like you were playing like a 007, like you were part of a 007 movie. And I'd actually argue this game just even as a cinematic like movie type of experience, but I say that lightly because it is still a lot of interaction. I was some people are going to try to agenda.
Yeah, they always do. They're going to.
They're
That's why I was like, in the best way.
Yeah, I want to say what I'm saying. Like it's cinematic. I just mean it as like it does feel like that level of like if you sat to the movies and this was just straight up a movie. It is that quality of like writing, like this could have just inserted as like the next generation James Bond, and I would have been really happy if this was like after Daniel Craig, this is the new Bond. Honestly, I see him as a new Bond. I told IO, I hit him up. I said, bro, y'all cooked. I want a trilogy. No matter of fact, I want 5 games from y'all. I want this to be y'all main thing for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years now. It looks like they sold a lot, so that's a good sign. It looks like a lot of people loved it and it got really good review scores. So
Is that Bond a real person like that, a face scan?
Yeah, he's a real person. He has blonde hair though. But
I agree. Hey, make the game like the origin story, and then just go into another movie. Like make it connected.
I won't spoil. I won't spoil exactly because I don't want to spoil the ending for anybody. But I will say they definitively have at the end Bond will return. Like they have that definitively like in the cutscene at the end. So you basically there is a continuation. This is not like a one-off. Like once you're done, you're just like, okay, that was like a one-off. Like, oh, you get to learn how he becomes 007. It seems like that IO had a lot of confidence that they knew that like, okay, it's gonna feel conclusive. You'll be very happy when it ends, but they've left enough story strings where they're like, this universe can be expanded and we can turn this into a franchise, which I'm excited to see. I want them to do Splinter Cell. I would kill for Ubisoft to give them the ability to do Splinter Cell. This is like a stealth game that the way Watts has been like thirsting for a Souls game. I've been thirsting for just something stealth for so long, and I'm so happy that 007 just itches it perfectly for me. That like I'm not gonna lie, there was moments I was playing it, I felt like it was Splinter Cell for like a good moment when I was doing all the stealth stuff. So yeah, 10. I agree with what you're saying, TBH. Definitely a Game of the Year nomination. We'll see, obviously, when there's a bunch of more games if it gets teetered out. But I think as of right now, it 100% would be like, in my opinion, action game nominated, action adventure game nominated, Game of the Year potential nomination as well.
Okay. I see you holding your chin down there, Jay. What's going on in that noggin?
Man, I've heard nothing bad. None of y'all say anything bad about this game. Nah, it's tough. It's tough. I think this is one of the games that after it came out, we were like, wow, like we got what we expected and then some. Mm-hmm. I said on Twitter, like before I even started playing, I was like, I haven't seen anybody say anything bad about this game. And multiple people were like, you can't. Like there's nothing bad. Like people were super confident about this game. This game sold 1.5 million in a day. Like that shows you like how many people were thirsting over this game, how many people thought this game was great. So yeah, I agree with everything you all said. I think that one of the best things about this game is definitely the pacing. I'm on chapter 6 now, and again, it doesn't even feel like I'm going through chapters. It just feels like I'm seamlessly flowing throughout the game. And if it wasn't for you showing me that, hey, I'm in a new chapter, I probably wouldn't even know. Like, I'm just playing through. I think that they have done an amazing job at like going through the game, and like you don't even know that the game is loading. Like it's invisibly loading through the next. Yeah, and it's flawless. And I'm like, wow, like just those little things that you see, like just makes me like just super impressed. Piggybacking on what TBA said about Hitman, I'm a huge Hitman fan. And yeah, I do agree that it is a diet Hitman, but I do like that. I love Hitman. Hitman 2 is my favorite, and it had a plethora of things that you can do. Like, one of my favorite things to do is just drop something on somebody. So like, I love that I can do that. so like, this reminded me of Hitman a lot. But yeah, just the fact that you can do pretty much whatever you want. Again, me being bad at stealth, I'm good enough at stealth that I can at least get through those sections without being being caught or whatever. But yeah, no, it's great that you have so many options in order to get to your objective. And TBS brought up a really good point when he said, like, the first part is like, the prepping part where you do have to go through the stealth in order to get to the real part. Once you get through that door, then it's like, all right, you got a license to kill, let's go. But one of my favorite things, I think that and it's funny because like we were seeing the previews of the game and we were seeing certain sections, and I remember when I first started playing it, like, oh yeah, this is a section was in the demo. I was like, yeah, so y'all know pretty much, like, y'all know what's going to happen here. But still, like, I was like, I'm not trying to go through the same routes that, they did in the demo. I want to try something else. Like, what else can I do? And I found something else. And I was like, oh, okay, that's really interesting. The fact that I could, still find another option in order to get into the building and then continue on with the mission. So that was super cool. Like, I intentionally did that. I'm intentionally trying to find different ways in order to get to where I need to. But one of the things when you get to the combat section, I find it like even that part is super seamless, and doing it yourself. Now I'm like, man, like if you really get to the nitty gritty and you're like putting all of the mechanics together, you can really turn this to a super Rambo badass like combat game. Yeah, it really is. Like I'm just finding myself, I'm just snapping, just pow, pow, pow. Like it's great. And I'm like, damn, I wasn't expecting the gunplay to even feel that good, but the gunplay feels freaking amazing. I'm like, wow, how did
visceral is the word I describe it in terms of combat.
Visceral, yeah, but it's great, man. I absolutely love that. That's my favorite part. Unfortunately, we came across some negatives, but it's not about the game itself. It's things surrounding the game, and I'm like, I don't get it, but I wait.
Before you get into that,
single time, bro.
I did, because you said there are no negatives. I did have two negatives, but I'm gonna be honest, even still, they're nitpicking. My two negatives from a gameplay standpoint, I do feel like he runs a little slow. I was like,
he's a white guy. He's a British white guy.
Yeah, I said the same thing on stream. I was like, maybe it's because he's a British white guy. I don't know. But like, even when you hold the run button, he just does this little light jog, and I'm like, all right. Yeah, I think it's a little annoying when I'm trying to find clues and figure out where to go. I'm like, come on, can I move a little bit faster? And then my real complaint, because that's a nitpick, my real complaint is I did run into a bug. It only happened once, but I do got to bring it up to be fair. There was a section where like you had to look through a telescope to find something. And I'm like, what the fuck am I looking for? And luckily I have the discernment because I played enough games where I was like, I think it's glitching. And I restarted it and did the same thing over, and then it loaded the cutscene like afterwards. But like
it's the graveyard, right?
It's a boat you have to find. It wasn't activating the cutscene, and I was lucky enough that I was smart enough to do that. But I was saying to the chat, I was like, we have to be fair, because I was like, imagine this is somebody's first video game or somebody who casually plays video games. They don't know that they might be thinking, because I was going in the loop for like a good 10 minutes. I was like, yo, am I this fucking slow? What am I missing in the room or something like that? I was like, you know what? I'm just going to restart the game. Restarted it, the cutscene loaded like that. So I was like, I do got to be fair. That bug's in the game. There might be more. I don't know. But at least if anybody from the dev team sees that, y'all should look into that and look into patching it, because that could be frustrating for some people. But other than that, it's been a smoother. Go ahead.
This isn't a crazy con. This is just like a little, like, it's just adjustment. Like one of those things where it's like initially, I'm not gonna lie, the control scheme's kind of weird. Like I was using the controller initially, and I'm booty at controller. I think I have not played a shooter with a controller in such a long time that I can't aim.
Aim assist is tough, yeah.
Yeah, it's so tough. So I literally went to keyboard and mouse. I was like, I can't do this. So I went to keyboard and mouse. It felt so much better to like in the shooting segments when I had to shoot a gun. But I will say there was definitely moments where like I was trying to shoot, but I couldn't shoot because like it was trying to melee, because like I didn't ADS, so I can't really shoot from the hip. I have to ADS every time I shoot the gun. And on top of that, like it's I think it's more of like you get used to it, but I don't know if maybe it's still a con, is since there's no like lock on, so you can't lock on people with melee. Sometimes it's kind of weird when like you get into melee and
the camera's a little funky.
People. Yeah, and you're trying to like dodge or certain things, and you're trying to focus on certain people to hit, and you can't, because you can't like really like focus the camera at the person.
They do need a lock on, I
think a lock on would be nice. That's like the really like mechanical one I could pull. Be like, yeah, this is kind of a a little bit of a con. Oh, but one more Glaze thing. I think this game has one of the best tutorials of all time. I think that entire training segment montage thing was phenomenal. Yeah, 100%.
Music is worth glazing too.
Little negative as well. So when you're fighting in certain areas, the camera is real bad. Yeah, like you 100%. Are like, I was like, I routinely, very frequently cannot see what's going on. And then kind of what Ethos said, like there'll be a moment where there's something that I want to pick up and throw, but because that is also the grab the enemy button, it ends up choosing to do that over the thing I want to do. So I do think that in terms of like, it sometimes felt like I didn't have very good control over what I really wanted to do because lots of things were sharing like the same buttons,
inputs.
Yeah. I have a negative too, and I don't know if it's just because of difficulty, but the AI is still kind of dumb sometimes. I do.
I would say the AI is 50-50.
They're Ubisoft dumb. They're Ubisoft dumb. Yeah, but and that's the point. They are Ubisoft dumb. Sometimes Ubisoft, like when you do it stealth, Ubisoft they'll fly you from a mile away.
Nah, I don't think
you're giving Ubisoft too much credit. I'm not gonna look at that. Ubisoft's AI is just fucking stupid, bro.
Yeah, I don't think
in this game, I would say the AI when it's good, it's good. Them motherfuckers was flanking me. They was catching me off guard. They was checking angles, but when it was bad, I do agree. There's actually one moment where I just funneled all the enemies into a corner and just shot them all in the head. That did feel like Ubisoft, but I would say the AI is 50-50.
Yeah. So, but like I said, they're little nitpicks for me. I can't really find anything super bad.
I think the weaknesses of the engine, the camera kind of come out like the more chaos there is. So like I think it's like when you get in those sections where it's like full on like this license to kill and you're just like John Wicking it. I think that's when like, you know, you're like pop shotting and stuff like that. And then I think it gets really bad when you're trying to shoot at people. And then like melee people start coming at you too. And you're trying to dodge and jump over stuff. Or like it gets really bad, I think, in the parts where like your opponent grabs you or punches you, and then it causes your character to go flying another way. You go flying across the table, and the camera's like trying to like adjust to catch your Bond where he's like getting hit towards. I've had some issues like that too, where like the camera like lost track of Bond for a second because I got into a corner, and it was like I was just like fighting a camera to try to like readjust so I could like aim and shoot. But I mean, but these are like things that I'm talking like these are like small annoyances out of 16 hours. Like it took me 16 hours to beat it, and I was just like, oh my god, I wish more games were just this just perfect length, just 16-hour. I was just like, oh, I'm satisfied. I didn't feel like I wanted more. I was just like, good. And
I can feel somebody typing in the comments where I'm not paying $70 for no 16-hour game. First of all, y'all got to stop judging the quality of a game based off of length. But to be fair, I would also say that this game is really like a 30 to 50-hour game if you're into replaying stuff, because there's so many different ways that you could tackle a mission. If you really enjoy the game, you're most likely going to find yourself replaying the game because there is that much content, so many different styles in terms of playing the game.
On top of that, a lot of people aren't aware of this, but when you beat the game or when you get to a certain point in the game, you unlock a new mode called tactical simulations or something like that. And that is like for the people that have been trying to con this game and be like, it's very linear. There's an illusion of choice. There's no real illusion of choice. There is choice in there. It's not as much as Hitman, but there is, like you said, there is a flexibility of how you can complete a lot of the stuff outside of the linear sections where they're forcing you like to chase someone down or something like that, where like you have to do it this certain type of way. But I will say, the tactical area is where the freedom is, like where Hitman is. It's closer to Hitman. It is we are giving you a simulated area where we want you to complete a task, and we're going to let you figure out however you want to complete it. And it's very flexible, and it's a very high difficulty curve. Like there's a lot of modifiers and stuff that you can do with it, and that's something you can unlock later. Yeah. And that gives you longer play time, by the way.
I've seen a couple negative Nancy's on social media try to make the argument the game's not worth it. It plays itself. And I'm like, yeah, y'all didn't play it. Y'all watched somebody else play it.
No,
there's literally sections in the game. There's a couple puzzles in the game where I'm like, that played itself. Like you do have to think to some level. I was like, nah, this game.
They're using driving sections, but the thing is, the cars have drive assist. Like it literally pops up. So to avoid pop up slamming the wall. But for people who are trying to say like, because the driving section or certain driving section, because I get it as like, I see it as, okay, this is a good analogy. It's like playing Spider-Man and you're forced to play Mary Jane. It's like, I'm here to play Spider-Man. I'm here to play 007 and do that sort of, and shoot and do all this sort of stuff. I'm not really here to play a racing game. So I can see why they put that stuff in there. So if you're not really into it to play a racing game, even though there have been previous 007 games that have had like car sections in them, they're just more linear, just cinematic things. They're not really like an open space where you're going to be actively moving the car to do certain things.
But that's an integral part of 007. Literally, it's a walking advertisement. You have Range Rovers, you have Jaguars, you have Aston Martins. That's a part of James Bond. That's literally is in his repertoire. So there's no way that you're not going to have those sections or at least multiple car references. So again, the driving section didn't bother me. Like any of those sections didn't bother me. Like I didn't feel like the driving was bad. Again, I feel like people were nitpicking. Do we have an SJW section? Because I did want to get off some of the other agendas that people were trying to say.
I wanted to talk about the game first to make sure we have an
okay. All right.
But yeah, we could pivot to the drama surrounding the game in case you guys are out of the loop because you're not chronically online. Yeah, there's some manufactured drama. Seriously. There is a portion of the internet that does not want to play this game. They're boycotting 007 First Light because they claim that it's woke DEI slop because Bond has to take orders from a woman, and all they did was expose themselves. They've never seen a movie. They probably only know they were books. They don't know anything about Bond because he takes orders from women. What do you have to say on that, Jay?
Like, did anyone? I literally laugh because during our light talk, unless people are older than us, and even still, like that's still not even an excuse. We've literally had a woman named Judi Dench that has been Bond for 25 years since Pierce Brosnan started being Bond, and even through Daniel Craig saga. So I'm like, what the hell are y'all talking about, bro? And then they were saying, oh, it's not enough hot chicks. I'm like, okay. Once again, we are judging women in video games. What is your definition of a hot chick? I still don't understand who y'all like and who y'all don't like.
Also, plenty.
Objectively,
there are plenty.
Hold on. Objectively, they're wrong. First of all, you mean a hot chick literally who pulls up on you?
Any of the women in the game are ugly, to be honest.
Money
Penny. I hit in real life.
What's funny is I don't know if y'all have gotten to it. Have you gotten to the Thailand mission yet, JG?
No, I'm not to Thailand yet.
When you get to Thailand, there's literally a baddie, straight up baddie, and like a thong swimming suit. I'm not even joking. Like straight up 007 swimsuit. You've seen the pictures online. Baddie, and there's like, what's it? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 5 baddies I think that you either talk to. Also, I just want to say, I really love the characterization of this Bond because he's not even like a full-on womanizer. Like I can see what they were talking about when they said they modernized him a little bit, because I think old Bond would have been an asshole about this, but I love how new Bond had actually the emotional intelligence to realize that homegirl liked his friend, and then actually helps his friend, wingmans his friend instead of trying to like steal his friend and steal it from him. I was like, oh, I gotta appreciate that's really good. That was really slick, like writing to do that. But no, he's still. I mean, in the first cutscene.
Very quickly,
the secretary. That's like she gives him the look.
Already.
In the club mission, I don't know if y'all the girls are fighting Loki over you. The one in the red dress. If you run in there, like what are you talking about?
When you beat up her, that was a whole mess. You had to either choose to ignore her or entertain her. But yeah, she was a freaking mess. I was like, get away from me, yo! You annoying as hell. Like you messing me up. So I don't know, man. Like again, it just really exposed. Like I'm a huge Bond fan. Like my mom just absolutely loved Bond to death. She loved, like, Roger Moore is one of her favorites, so she's like legacy. I remember I bought her like the whole collection one year, and she was just watching through all of them. So for me, Pierce Brosnan was my entry into watching Bond, so he's like the go to me. But I love Daniel Craig too, but I'm just like, I don't get why y'all are saying these things. Like, just admit that, one, you don't talk to women, you don't know who the hot chick is, and you never knew that M was a woman for at least 25 years during at least our lifetime. Like, that's just ridiculous. You're trying to bring up this misogyny and sexism at the same time. Like, I don't like I totally don't understand where people are trying to go with it. Just admit that you don't watch the movies and you don't want to play the game. You want to try to find a reason, but to be honest, this should be the anti-woke people's game to play. Like, this is totally your shit. So why
it doesn't matter. They just want to complain about something.
I would say this would be the game of the year for the anti-woke people. It should be, if you actually play the game, because you're playing a good-looking white dude who's getting women, blowing shit up, saving the world. Is that not what y'all wanted to be the center of attention? Like,
if y'all was playing Greenway, then y'all would be mad. But but you're playing minorities. I don't understand.
Teaming up with minorities, that's why they don't like.
Yeah, him. I know. Because you got Buddy Penny, you got Greenway, you got him.
Taking orders from a black woman. Oh man, too far.
Say it ain't so. So I said it. I thought it was a Game of the Year nomination. What do you think, Jay and Watts?
I think it could be. It's hard for me when it comes to that because this game isn't the type of game that I actually personally like very much. Like I've got like 8 hours and I think I'm pretty good now because I'm getting a little bored. But it's because I don't like those kind of adventure games. I don't like walking and talking. The more I have to every time I have to walk and talk, it's like I'm taking damage and eventually I'm dead. And then I can't play it anymore. So it's one of those games that I know it's really good and I do like it, but it's not my personal kind of game. So I don't love it. I don't feel that like, oh my God, it's so good. But I think that in looking at it objectively, I think that it ticks so many boxes so well. I think visuals, optimization, writing, gameplay. I think it's all so good that I could definitely see it being in the conversation. I'd have to take a look at other things that have come out, and also we have a lot still coming out. But I think as we are right now, I think it could be. Yeah.
Okay. Jay, what you making a face down there for?
I mean, I'm on the fence. I really like the game, but I just don't know. Like, given the landscape, we really spoke about September and what that could potentially bring outside of the two that we already know. So I don't know. I think from a Metacritic, just overall critic standpoint, yeah, I think it ticks all the boxes for a game of the year. Now, will it be my game of the year? Most likely no, but that doesn't mean that it's not a great freaking game. Like, I absolutely love this game. So again, take that with a grain of salt, people. Again, that's all subjective at the end of the day. But I think objectively, this is, again, a really good game. And I would not be upset if this ended up being a nominee for a game of the year. But me personally, I think just given the landscape for the rest of the year, I think that but it has the potential to be snubbed, just in my personal opinion. It has the potential to be snubbed in that category. I'm not saying it's going to get nominated. It's not going to get nominated because it definitely will. It definitely will get nominated in the action category for sure. Maybe music, maybe score, stuff like that. But game of the year, man, it's going to be another very, very tough year, y'all. So just buckle up.
Can I say I just wanted to be nominated because I want the orchestra to play the First Light theme.
Oh, that song is so
the
good.
intro after the
That song was
I just want them to play
good.
that.
Dr. Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, that song was good.
Yeah, I don't think me and Ethos were saying we thought it was going to be our game of the year. Just I wouldn't be surprised if it got nominated. Now, you know what I am comfortable saying, and I said it in the group chat. I think if GTA 6 is not allowed to be nominated for Game of the Year, I do think that this could potentially win Game of the Year for the ball and gun gamers. Like the clips I've been seeing, the joy, the ball and gun joy I've been seeing. You know what? I'm happy that they're enjoying their game. I'm not making fun of y'all because y'all can finally stop talking about there's nothing to fucking play, bro. It's great. I love to see it.
No, they're still saying it.
Oh, yeah, you know, you did get in a Twitter argument about that shit. Wait. What did that person say when they said it was nothing to play? And you said, what are you talking about? What did you say?
Well, he was talking about specifically Steam Deck because he was referencing the people that had been complaining about the Steam Deck going up in price, right?
Didn't y'all just play Crack Matt on that?
Yes, and they played crack. And I'm like, there's no way. He was like, I didn't play my Steam Deck for a good 1 to 2 months. And then I was like, huh? And then he exposed himself, right? Because he was like, I'm going to go and replay Persona or something. I was like, yep, there it is. I was like, you're not a ball and gun gamer, but you a JRPG gamer.
Yeah,
I was like,
X33 hater. That's what he is.
Yep. I was like, you've exposed yourself. So I'm like, yep, there it is. I'm like, I just mentioned 3 games that came out. I mentioned 3 games that came out in the last 2 weeks. I said Mina the Hollower, 007, and Batman. I was like, you could play all of those games on your Steam Deck. 007 actually runs pretty good on the Steam Deck, you know. I ain't gonna lie, it actually runs pretty good. I was like, Alabaster Dawn, I was like, go play Pragmata. You have things to play on the Steam Deck. We're not just talking about on other platforms. On your Steam Deck right now, you can play those games. Do not try to give me that crap. I was like, y'all just try to attention bait because you are being very disingenuous. You're gonna go play some old shit, but you don't want to play anything else, right? You're like, there's nothing that I want to play. And I'm like, well, if you rephrase it like that, I would still say that you're wrong, but it would at least be better than saying that there's nothing to play. You literally have a handheld PC in your hands. You can play retro. You can emulate. You can do so much with that Steam Deck. Do not give me that shit. There's nothing to play on your Steam Deck.
Somebody said, I saw tweets that said, saying that there's nothing to play on like Steam Deck or PC is like saying there's no food at the grocery store. And I was like, yeah, that's that's honestly.
Just say you don't know what you don't want to eat. That's all.
Yeah, you don't know what you want to eat.
You know how crazy people's backlogs are. Like it's it's the
there's
same.
no such thing as there's nothing to play on PC. That's literally an impossibility.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Watts was saying that she's getting bored with 007, so I'm curious to hear her take on the next topic. Another game came out in the past week called Mina the Hollower. I said Mina the Hollower, which stars a mouse rat. I don't know, some type of cheese eating. She's a mouse. It's a top-down 2D action adventure game with a Game Boy Color style of vibe. I think the gameplay, like the combat, is like a mix between like Castlevania and like Zelda and like some other stuff, right?
Yeah.
You tell us. What's the good and bad on it? I don't know. I didn't
this is currently the highest rated game of the year, so that should tell you something.
Wait. IGN gave it a 10 though. IGN gave it a 10, so it can't be right.
IGN gave it a 10, so it's probably not a game.
So why? So is it only a matter of time before people start saying this is also going to be an industry plant because of how it graphically looks?
I think so, because I think they were at a couple of like big showcases. So they'll probably look at that and go, oh, well, they clearly have more than an indie budget because they've been able to be at this
is Shovel Knight people, right? Like the people that did Shovel Knight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is by Yacht Club Games. They made Shovel Knight. It's kind of like the Game Boy Color Zelda game specifically. So Oracle of Ages, Link's Awakening, like that was kind of the main inspiration for Mina the Hollower. But then it also has like Castlevania inspirations and then a little bit of Soul stuff. So the background of it's a top down, but like I think they call it 3/4 perspective is what it's actually called. The old school Zelda perspective, where it's like it's not totally top down because it's got some depth.
The camera's kind of zoomed in a little bit more.
Is it like isometric or no? Like is you know what isometric is?
It's not entirely. It's like
let me just look at
90 degrees.
Link to the past if you remember that camera.
Yeah. So it's
gameplay, but I was like,
that's why they call it 3/4 because you're not looking directly down. It's like at an angle because they want to have some depth. So it's tilted enough that where you can imply that there's a depth of upper levels, lower levels, and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Nerd shit.
So, yeah. So you're playing as Mina, who is a mouse. She's an inventor. She's a member of a guild called the Hollowers. And there's something going on with the island where the generators that she built have all broken. So you're kind of going there and figure out what's going on. But the way that it plays is, very like Zelda, but you have like the limited healing of souls. You have checkpoints that are similar to souls where it will like respawn things, give you your healing back. If you die, you drop something called a spark. If you don't get your spark back, you lose all of your bones. So you have that kind of stuff. But in terms of an actual game, it plays more like a Zelda. So you can get a map, but there's a lot of just like talking to NPCs, figuring stuff out yourself. This game doesn't hold your hand at all. They're basically just like, here's the game. They barely even tell you how to do any buttons. They're like, just go play, figure it out. So this game the music is really good. It's that old school Game Boy music. It makes you feel really nostalgic, and it looks like a game from that era, but you can tell that it's obviously like a modern version of that. So visually, I think it looks really cool, and the music is really good. This game is freaking hard. This game is hard. It is. I was getting my ass beat, and then I went into one of my friend's streams, and I'm like, "This game is beating my ass," and she was also like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad you came in," because I was like, "Am I just bad?" I'm like, "No, this game is actually genuinely hard because you don't have." I think what makes it hard for me is you don't have a traditional like dodge roll. One of the mechanics that you have for combat and for traversing is you jump and then you burrow underground and you pop up out of the ground. So to get out of the way, if an enemy is charging at you, you have to jump up first and then jump into the ground to avoid them. It's not just like a press a button and you dodge or press a button and you parry right away. So that takes a little bit of getting used to because you're also using it for traversal. If you want to jump bigger gaps, you have to burrow and then jump out of the burrow to jump over. So you've got some platforming stuff going on. Takes a little bit to get used to with all of that stuff. But the game is it's incredibly charming. It's super, super charming. It's the world is really cool to explore. As soon as you start getting into the RPG elements of like getting different weapons and different trinkets and different, they call them sidearms, which are limited use ranged weapons or a limited use mini dodge. That ends up really getting into your brain and being like, okay, I get it. And the way that you kind of figure out what to do next is there will be like a newspaper in town that you read, and it will tell you what things you've done so far, and then it will kind of hint where you want to go. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that I really like that it does is they have a bunch of modifiers. So you can make the game easier, harder, or just weirder. So one of the things that you can do to make it easier, it's not just like take less damage, even though they do have that. They have stuff like there will always be a boss checkpoint. So if you're playing the game and you're like, I really like this game, but I hate the run backs. They're pissing me off. You can just add that modifier that adds a boss checkpoint. That you can also make your heal faster because your heal, you are stuck in place and it is pretty slow. So you could do that. You can also make it to where you can just burrow infinitely instead of being on a time limit. So they have really interesting modifiers. And then they also have weird modifiers where you can invert your controls. You can invert the screen. You can make the screen constantly rotate. You can also strip out all the RPG progression and turn it straight into like a Zelda-like game. So they basically added all the weird, easy, difficult mods that someone would want to add to the game as a modder, but it's just inherently in the game. So I think that that's really cool. Also, if you put any of the mods on, it disables achievements. So you can do whatever you want. You can make it super freaking easy. There's even a God mode if you want to have a God mode and literally never die, but you just won't get achievements. So I thought that was a really interesting way of doing it. And that way it's approachable for people if they like the game, but they are finding it too hard because it is very hard. Or you can make it, funny, weird, do challenges for yourself in there.
2 questions.
Yes.
What's the price of this game? And then are you a fan of Plague's Tale Requiem?
I am a fan of Plague's Tale Requiem. This game is $20.
Yeah, I was trying to see if you had like a thing for games with rats in them and shit. You just confirmed you do. Thank you for confirming, rat lady.
This dude is funny.
You like that game too. You probably like this one too.
You like rats.
Rat lady. No, I'm just fucking with you. What's the there's another game too that you played this week. You've been on it. Stone Machia.
Stone Machia.
According to the Steam page, it says, fight Xeropho, arm yourself with the power of chess, and explore Medellin, a land haunted by the plague of angels, in a dark action-adventure Souls-like with elements. Will you be able to return to heaven? What the hell does that mean?
So you play as a chess piece, but you were like sent down from heaven, and you're trying to fight your way back up, fighting biblically accurate angels. So, yeah. Pretty self-explanatory.
So it's a Souls game where you play as a pawn?
Well, so the cool, it is, I would say the base inspiration is Souls, but then it's a lot faster. It doesn't have a stamina system that you need to worry about. And as you progress through the game, you can switch just whenever you want between pawn, knight, bishop, something else. I forgot which chess piece, but there's different chess pieces that do different things and you can switch between them. So they have different attacks. They have different attacks that use mana. They have different movement abilities. And when you have all of them, it ends up just being like a crazy, almost like, would you say that like the God games where the whole thing is that they want you to feel like a super powerful God. It ends up feeling like that because you're just zipping around. You're doing like massive explosions. You've got big healing rings. But you can just play with like the bishop and the pawn. And that will feel a lot more just like you're playing Souls because parrying is really important. The way that they do healing is actually really interesting. You can always get a heal back whenever you parry. So if you have no heals, you parry, you get a heal, you can chug that. Parry again, you get a heal back. So they really want to keep you in the world exploring and keep you in the fight by always being able to get your heals back. This game is made by 9 people. It initially was made by 1 person, and then they got 9 people in 2022. They have no funding at all. This is just them making the game in their spare time. They don't have a publisher. So this is a true indie game that I think people would say this is straight up indie. And this game it's really, really, really impressive. I've been consistently impressed by this game. The level design is phenomenal. It's kind of perfect of what you would expect for a Souls experience. The way that you're traversing it, you're unlocking new things. There's hidden things for you to find, hidden bosses, discoveries for you to make, littered throughout the maps. The writing is really good. It's doing the very classic thing of like FromSoft would do, where it's serious and there's some like stuff going on, but also there's some funny things where you're like, okay, it's actually kind of funny. It's also really atmospheric and kind of spooky. Like there's these things, your currency in this game is feathers. I found this big feather, which normally is just like a clump of souls for you to have to level up. But I picked up this one particular feather and it ended up aggroing like a big ass statue baby. And the statue baby will like randomly appear behind you sometimes. And then if you hit him, he transports you to this boss room where he just slowly kills you, drains your health. So there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, the level design is really good. All of the boss fights have been super impressive. There was one area that I found by jumping inside a painting that literally looks like a watercolor painting that had a unique boss fight in there. And then one of the cool things that they do that's unique is in combat, you can use your heavy attack. And if you end up using that with mana, it will do something that hurts you, but also hurts the enemy. So for example, the pawn will spawn like a version of himself. If you parry that spawned attack, you end up having a little buddy that follows you around everywhere. If you don't parry it or you dodge it, you just lose it and you don't get that. So they have a really interesting like risk reward way of using stuff. There's another one that you shoot like a projectile, and if you parry it, you can keep like bouncing it between you and the enemy, but it can also hit you. So I really liked that. It's a interesting way of using your mana and figuring out how you want to use these abilities at the right time in a boss fight so you don't get hit by the boss and you don't end up hurting yourself. So yeah, just man, super, super impressive game. Every moment that I've spent in this game, I just think it's really beautiful. It's got a super unique art style. The way that they're using chess is just super cool. Level designs are great. Yeah, it's really, really good. Also, it's $18. $18, 9 people.
For
the devs are
everybody.
awesome. Shout out
All
to them.
in on a budget. That's what we like to know.
The music is good too. I was like, damn, they've got some good ass music in this game.
So
And
there's
really
no-
varied like areas that you go to.
So there's no feet in this game.
No, there is, yeah.
There is feet.
There's feet. There's some feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got some
was curious
fetish
if they
thing
were
going
There's
on
a
here?
couple feet.
No, I
Some
was curious if
hands,
they were
there's
all.
hands.
The way he said it.
Hands and feet.
Right.
Yeah,
on
the
chest
pieces don't have feet.
Yeah, I would assume they not have pieces if it was all.
The
Yeah, because they just jumping
pieces
around.
don't
Just
have-
hopping
Yeah, they
in.
would just be hopping.
Yeah.
They are hopping. They're very cute, actually. Everyone who sees it, they're like, "What is this cute ass game?" I'm like, "Yeah, the chess pieces are kind of cute." Oh, also, all of the objects, the angels, the statues, etc., are inspired by Italian folklore. This is an Italian team, so it's all Italian.
Speaking of Italians, Watts, I saw you a while ago. Thank you. Coming to my defense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the Liza P thing where people were in the chat.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's Italian, and you were like, "Well, no, actually, it is French." Fucking dinguses.
It's inspired by the Belle Epique.
Yeah,
I'm about to
period,
say
which is French.
Italian.
yeah. People are saying that
Pinocchio is
Liza
Italian.
P is Italian. Thus, that
Yeah.
means that the whole game is Italian based.
But
The world's Italian
The
based.
theme is inspired by a French.
yeah, but actually, the
didn't-
meaning of it's actually
Yeah, I didn't get the Italian at all when I'm playing through that
I was
game.
like,
Okay.
if we want to be, actually,
actually.
I can
Well,
do it
actually.
too.
Well, actually, did you beat the game? ethos?
Well,
I beat
going back to it.
007.
He said he going back to it after beating
okay.
You beat 007 though. Shout out to Ethos.
He's been through it, man. Hey,
I'm beating my games.
You are.
Fair enough.
Good that you did it just in
catch up.
time for Marathon Season 2.
Oh yeah, right.
Nah, dead game. That's the internet. So,
Right.
fun fact: I played an indie game this week, even though the internet, tried to position me and say that I hate indie games. And this one was called Serpent's Gaze. I found this one on Twitter, and I thought it looked really cool. Then I looked it up on Steam, and it was only $13. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm for the ball." Serpent's Gaze is a punishing 1 to 4 player co-op third-person action game where you fight tough enemies and relentless bosses, all while uncovering the secrets of the ancient desert. And ladies and gentlemen, the best way that's the way the Steam page describes the game.
Mm-hmm.
The best way I can describe the game is it's an indie Souls game. Think of Night Rain, but it's not cracked out. With Night Rain, it was super fast paced, not just the running and the mounting, but also because the circle was coming in, you were constantly fighting the circle. It was kind of like, it had like this little BR element to it. And I found that, like, although I did like Night Rain, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would in comparison to base Elden Ring. And I think that was why I kind of wanted to explore, take my own time. But like, I could appreciate it for what it was, but I think that's why I didn't stay on it as long as everybody else. But I've been itching and I've been calling. I would love a full-blown traditional, just kind of Souls, make your own build experience co-op. And this indie game came across my timeline. Now it's not that. It is a Souls roguelike. So it's like, I would say it's kind of like Lies of P meets Slay the Spire, or Dark Souls meets Slay the Spire. They have a bunch of classes at once you get done with the tutorial, it's super quick. It's like a minute. You go after that, you get to the hub world and you get to pick your class, and each class has different buffs and abilities. And then they have a bunch of different weapons that you can equip to that class. So you have to figure out which weapon you think works best with each class, like mix and match the stats. And then you hop into the game. Obviously, the weapon changes the way that you fight as well. When you get into the game, it drops you in, you're farming enemies and whatnot. And once you make it to certain checkpoints in the map, you're able to hit this flower and you get to pick one of three of the different things that it gives you. It's all random. So it's all run based if you ever played a roguelike. I think roguelikes are a great genre for old heads like me. So if you played Hades, Slay the Spire, you know what I'm talking about. And they have some really cool different ways that it adds to the game. Like you could jump, and when you hit them with an overhead, it causes a thunder shock. You could throw fire bombs. They have this one ability where, like, whenever I would hit somebody, like every third hit, like they would explode with like branches out of their body. So like really cool ways to change up the gameplay. I think what impressed me most is like, this is an indie game, and every single run that I've done, I only have 3 hours on the game, but every run that I've done so far, I've seen a different enemy. So like it's kept things fresh, because not only is it spawning new enemy types, but then they're also spawning in different places. So it's like, oh, I thought I had to check that corner, but then they were over there in that corner. It felt dynamic. The boss fights, I was impressed whenever they introduced. We've only, me and my girl, we've been playing. We only got into the second boss fight. There's a lot of content in there, and I can tell because I went to the community page and I was like, oh, I ain't seen that area. The first two bosses that we've encountered, it's cool. They have like a cutscene that plays out. I do think it'd be a little bit smoother transitioning into the boss fight, but the actual cutscene introducing the character is cool. The boss fights are engaging. I will say that one thing that's a little bit more punishing about this in comparison to other Souls games is the way the bosses turn corners. Like it kind of breaks that traditional 1 to 2 hits and move. Sometimes it's just straight one hit, because especially with this co-op, the AI is pretty smart. Like they'll charge at one person, and then out of nowhere, they'll turn the corner and pivot and they'll hit you. So you cannot overcommit to it. And that made it really fun and refreshing. Plus the different runs and different abilities. The co-op is super smooth. Surprised, because this is a small indie team with only like 100 people on Twitter following them. You literally just go into the menu, invite somebody, it works. I know that's crazy to say in fucking 2026, but it's so many games out here that just be doing goofy shit. So I appreciated that. There is a story here. If you care about story, there will be like little glowing lights hidden throughout the map, and like these, hey, look here, listen, things will speak and tell you something about the sands. I don't know. I'm just here to run the fades. The first level, the level design is kind of but that second level, when you make it to it, the level design was fire. It's a lot of verticality, vibrant. I think the game looks good. The combat is surprisingly very smooth. There's a little bit of jank to it. I think they could smooth out, but for the most part, for like an indie game for $13, I've actually been thoroughly impressed with this game. I put it in the group chat. I was like, anybody want to play? Let's play. I think Siggy ended up picking it up because I want to get further into it and see what changes and what other boss fights there are. It runs smooth too. I'm not crashing, not dropping any frames. For $13, an indie game, I'm thoroughly impressed. I feel like this is more of the experience that I wanted in comparison to like Night Rain, where it's like you just hop in with some buddies, run a couple rounds. Every round's going to be different because you're getting all these different abilities. Also, when you beat the boss, you get their weapon. At least the first one. I beat the first boss and it gave me this big ass sword and it changed the gameplay on the next run. It's super slow, but it hits like a fucking truck. So I'm excited because we almost beat the second one. I'm curious to see if we're going to get that weapon. And then what else? I feel like there's one more thing that I wanted to say about this game. I don't know. I'm surprised. I genuinely like the game. I think there is a foundation here. They just got to clean up like the little stuff. No, it's in early access. It's not finished, but there is a good amount of content here for only $13. It's got co-op. I think it's cool.
It sounds like they've made a lot of positive changes because I tried it in November of last year and I was like, nah, this ain't it.
You
like
did say
right
that,
away.
yeah.
Like right away. But I've looked at when you mentioned it, I went and looked at the latest gameplay and it looks quite a bit different. And obviously this is an early access game, so that's the whole point, is that it's supposed to be changing and getting better. So that makes me really excited for the future because the UI was like, back then the UI was like really weird, didn't look good, didn't feel good. Like combat was really weird and didn't feel good. The camera was like weird too. It just didn't move the way that you would want it to. But I've watched a bunch of gameplay and it looks like it's made a big difference in how just what the presentation looks like, but also how the combat looks. So shout out to them. That makes me excited for the future because they've clearly done quite a bit since November to now.
Yeah, freaking my girl texted me this morning. She's like, I'm itching to play that shit, bro. I was like, yeah. I was like, kind of.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I kind of. I think we're just. This is a Mortal Shell 2 waiting room, man. I think we're just itching to play some type of Souls. But like for what it is at $13, I cannot complain. It's kind of what I wanted over Night Rain, and I would recommend it for this. For if it was $70, I wouldn't say so, but for $13, I feel like there's a good amount of value here. And the builds that you can make so far that I've seen, you've been able to do some really cool shit. Each run has been completely different, and it's been fun adapting to it. So like, I don't know, man. I don't like every roguelike, but I feel like I'm starting to become a fan of the roguelike genre. It's just a great genre for old heads. Drop in, drop out, dynamic. Go ahead and make that Star Fox roguelike, Nintendo.
Well, we got a bunch of like, yeah, if you're someone who's thirsting for Souls likes, because it's been a little minute. Serpent's Gaze sounds like it would be a good one. Stone Machia still has a demo, so you can just check it out for free. And Mina the Hollower has some of that too. I don't know if Mina's demo is still there.
No. Watch. The internet said too many Souls games.
There's not enough. None of these are pure Souls games, so I'm a little thirsted still. But Stone Machia at least actually understands the genre with their level design, the way that they present lore, how tight combat is. The exploration. They understand the genre, and there's not many. I don't play many Souls likes that I'm like, these guys actually understand the genre.
Okay.
Shout out to them. And they have a free demo. Play the demo. It's free.
Always play the demo, man. Moving on to the news section of the podcast. One of the biggest news stories of the past week is Call of Duty, guys. Let's talk about it. Modern Warfare 4 was announced, the newest shooter from Infinity Ward. And here's what don't get too excited, guys. Here's what they're promising, guys. All right, so with the campaign, this one takes place in South Korea. Apparently, North Korea got a new leader, and he's very young and ambitious, so he's invading South Korea. And apparently, you'll be playing as a grunt squad, because I believe in South Korea, every young man has to serve a certain amount of time. So, like, you're playing some newbie soldiers, not like some super soldiers. Apparently, it's going to be 3x. The whole Korea thing, it includes Mumbai, New York, Paris, Russia. It'll also feature Price, Valeria, the Shadow Company. I think Ghost was at the end of like the trailer too. There'll be some new characters, linear, Call of Duty. As far as the shooting stuff, it'll feature a theater mode, classic perks, weapon build sharing, an all-new movement system, slide canceling, slide to ADS, sprint and mantle assist, dynamic kill block map, apex attachments, whatever that means, gunny weapon build recommender. So now you no longer have to even go to YouTube to get the best build. You can get it in the game. Destructible riot shield. Riot shield equals field upgrade. Red dots, ninja perks are back. No bloom. I watched the video about that. What that means is hip fire, from what it sounds like, will play more like Halo. Basically, where you aim is where it's gonna go. Map voting is back. Operators and kill streaks and loadouts. Equip any operator, no factions. No more last gen support. Thank God, no PS4. And there's 2 prestige paths. What that means is they will have classic prestige, where once you hit the max level, you can do the thing where the classic thing where they take away all your weapons and you get a new symbol next to your name, and then you'll get a 20% bonus on XP when you're leveling up. Or you can do the new one where you keep all your weapons, but you don't get the 20% bonus. So it's up to you how you want to get your fancy signal, fancy badge next to your name to prove you never get off the fucking game. How we feeling about this, JG? Modern Warfare 4. Is there with GTA 6, Phantom Blade 0, Wolverine, 007 coming out, Marvel Token, Avatar, and everything else in between? Do you think there's space for Modern Warfare 4?
No. No. I hate that there was a point years ago. I felt like it was so long now. It might have been like over 10 years now that I was actually be excited about the next Call of Duty and everything that will be in the next reveal. The only thing that I was slightly interested in was seeing Ghost at the end of the trailer and potentially seeing what the campaign has to offer. But everything else surrounding this, like if you're not playing Call of Duty like all day, every day, and you're not getting invited to the event and you're not ingrained within the Call of Duty universe, I don't think that anybody is getting excited anymore about Call of Duty. Like I think we're officially hitting the point again, because I do feel like Call of Duty did have a slight resurgence once they started doing, Modern Warfare, the 2019 or 2017, whatever the fuck edition, and then started going through it again and rehashing. I feel like it had a small resurgence because it did bring me back for a little bit, but I think we're really getting to a point again, especially after Black Ops 7. I'm just like, I'm checked out again, and I have no interest of going and playing this game. Now, if we get the game for free, I did. I got Black Ops 7 for free. I downloaded it. I ain't even boot that joint up. That's how bad it was for me. I got the game for free. I ain't even play it. So even if I get the game for free again, there's no guarantee that I'm going to even want to play it. Like, it's way too many games out. And I just think outside of like playing Battlefield, which even like I'm at the point where, again, there's way too much stuff out that I don't even like have the interest of going back and playing that. I kind of just checked out on FPSs. Like, I don't know. It's just, I think that time is just kind of passed for me. Like, I'll play it every now and then, but I think that time has passed once again when it comes to Call of Duty.
You gonna keep that same energy when Impulse drop?
I'm gonna play Impulse just because
it's caught you in a lie.
I'm gonna play it, but that's different.
It's new. You want to see if they're
different.
No, he said I'm tired of FPSs. That was a generalization. I
am tired of FPS, and that doesn't mean I'm not going to try it out. Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm not going to try it out.
You know what it is? First person shooters, it used to be a thing where you'd be like, oh, I'm into FPS. There's a new FPS. I'm going to check it out. Now it's more so like, if it's something that really aligns with something that else I'm interested in, then I'll check it out. But it's not the default anymore.
I'm gonna play Impulse just to slander it if it ends up being bad. If it's a bad Timefall ripoff, I'm gonna slander it. So I have an agenda that I'm about to cook up.
Why would you say that, bro? You
already know what it is. I'm gonna be brutally honest. Look, we're gonna try it out. We gotta talk about it. So I'm gonna play that. But I don't think anybody listens to us is like, hey, I want to know what they feel about the next Call of Duty that's coming out. Nobody cares at this point. We don't even have to play it. I don't think anybody is obligating us to play it. So I think we're just past that point.
Ethos, how we feeling about Modern Warfare 4?
I'll sleep. I don't care.
Damn.
Ghost thing is nice. I mean, it's a little sad to see my boy Ghost and so the boys are fighting. It's a little sad.
Yeah, but, I don't like that part.
I have a feeling they're gonna find a way to reunite. I don't believe that shit.
Of course, Price is probably doing the right thing, but against the rules, and then Ghost I gotta bring you in.
and then at one point midway through the game, wait a minute, I shouldn't do this to my country. You right. Let's join forces. I forgive you, brother.
Say, if Soap does kill Ghost, that will be Armageddon for the Call of Duty community because they love Ghost to death. Oh man.
To be fair to the game, from the trailer, the story trailer reveal, I do think the premise of the story is interesting, and I think the visuals do look really good.
How about we get a game where we actually see the Americans as the aggressors? That seems more accurate.
Well, the problem with that is that doesn't fit the propaganda, the propaganda machine. So that doesn't. I don't know if you know, which, by the way, I've never been suicidal. The United States military, the Pentagon in specific, spends billions of dollars every year in advertising to get people to join the United States military. They do it in video games, movies. It's all very subtle stuff. Like Top Gun is basically just propaganda. I don't know if you know that. Call of Duty 2. So they're not going to make a game where it involves the American empire being the enemy. Absolutely not.
I know from Modern Warfare 2019 when they did the Highway to Hell, and that's an American atrocity, and they made it seem like the Russians did it. So I was like, what is this propaganda I'm watching?
Absolutely not. It's always going to be the Chinese, the Russians. Now it's North Koreans, maybe Vietnam next.
See the people saying, like, you going to put Kim Jong-un in there? They were like, no, he ain't going to be in there. But I think the people would speculate about it.
That's what I say. If you're going to do it, go all the way, pussy. But to be fair to the game, I do think visually it does look good for a Call of Duty game. I think the story is somewhat interesting in comparison to the recent Call of Duties. The problem with this is everything that I'm saying is like, it looks all right. But is it interesting enough to take me away from Wolverine or GTA 6 or Phantom Blade Zero or Phantom Blade or Plague's Tale Legacy, Marvel Token? Can it take me away from that? I just think it's a bad year for Call of Duty. I honestly feel like Activision should have looked at the calendar and said maybe we should take a break this year. I just don't think, because I said the same thing. I said the same thing about 2K. To be fair, I'm like, it's just too many good games coming out. I already put it in the group chat. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be on that game that much this year. It's just too much. I want to dig into these fighting games. If they're really good, I want to compete. I wanted that to be Invincible, but that game's a fucking joke, and that's why nobody signed up for it.
KO baby, KO baby. Beat the allegations, yes sir.
Just to
they got like an old school UI going on, that was cool. So I was like, wow, that looks like Modern Warfare 2. Okay.
For the sake of being fair, it looks okay. I think for the super hardcore Call of Duty, they might be interested in it, especially with some of the changes they're making. But I think for the more casual, specific ball and gun gamer, I don't see them picking this over GTA 6. But I could be wrong. Any thoughts, Watts?
No, I don't really have any thoughts about it. I don't think I'll be playing Call of Duty ever again.
Damn. Well,
she said ever again. I ain't go that far now. Wait,
Are you sure about that?
Nothing.
Here, this piece of news. Are you sure about that? Because they also announced with Modern Warfare 4 their new loyalty discount program. Now, if you don't.
I can get a Nicki Minaj MAGA skin for cheaper if I'm loyal.
No, hear me out. They announced if you played any Call of Duty in the last 8 years, this includes Black Ops 7, 6, Modern Warfare 3 and 2, Vanguard, Cold War, Campaign Remastered, or Modern Warfare 2019, you get a 10% discount on Modern Warfare 2 or 4 if you buy the $100 edition, not the $70.
Oh my god!
You got to get.
You almost had me.
So,
wait,
it's
so how much?
90.
How much is it's 90?
It's going to be 90 with the 10%.
But the regular
off.
Game is 70.
Yes.
Yeah.
They would have to make it 70 for me to get.
I said
or
this
75.
I said this loyalty discount thing is actually a cool idea if they would have did like 25%. Like if you would have dropped that $100 to like $75, then I would have been like, okay. That makes sense. If extra $5, I'll get that Vault edition. But I'm like 10%. Unless you're a fucking sucker, I'm not buying this shit. Hey man, that's Call of Duty for you. Damn man. So hey, we letting y'all know if you're listening to the podcast right now. I'm not gonna go as far as to say never, because a wise man named Justin Bieber said never say never. But I'm feeling pretty confident we probably might not discuss Modern Warfare 4 unless one of us gets a game code and by the grace of God, we found some free time to actually play it. Okay.
You might.
Did you fall in love with this petition that the people put out?
Great segue. Got her.
That was a good segue. I signed it.
I know you did. Let me break it down.
Break it down.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for those who missed last week's podcast, there's been a lot of drama surrounding Bungie, mass layoffs. Things are not going good over there. People are not happy about Marathon, and the people from the community want to see Destiny 3 so much that they went to change.org to create a petition, which currently, at the time of this recording, May 31st, 2026, there are over 300,000 signatures, which Watts is one of them. And basically they're saying that, hey, what the fuck are y'all making this Marathon shit for? We want Destiny 3. So they're trying to drum up some excitement to let Bungie know this is what they want. Do we think this is a move that's actually going to affect some type of change, Watts?
No.
Damn.
She said it quick.
Petitions just don't really do anything. It's the reason why I think it's good, and I totally get why people want it and why they're signing it, is because it's a thing of like, this is a way for us to show Sony or Bungie that we like Destiny and we want more Destiny. And then also when it was created, I understand that it makes people want to feel like they have some control over the situation rather than just like accepting it. So doing like the petition and all that stuff that's what happens when people want to try and feel like they have some control over it. Because the thing is if you were to make a Destiny 3, actually, shout out to Jason Schreier, who is now a YouTuber. He put out a really good video on why are games so expensive. And he was looking at, for a studio that, let's say that, because there's 800 people at Bungie, let's say there's 400 people who work on a Destiny 3. You're looking at like $500 million just in paying people's wages to make that game. That's not including the building, the marketing, all of that other stuff. That's just paying people to make the game. So that was, looking at, say you have 300,000 people who have signed a petition, you're going to need them to buy a lot of copies to equal, $500+ million. So I highly recommend anyone watching that video, because Jason Schreier, he presents things in a really just, he doesn't put his opinion into it, except when he says like, this is my opinion. He's just showing you like, look, this is just how much things cost. This is why. And this is how much generally these types of games cost. So it really puts it into perspective of like, okay, I could see why Sony didn't just straight up greenlight a Destiny 3. But with the petition, I do think that it is a good way to show how many people are still very, very interested in the Destiny franchise. It's definitely not going to hurt anything. I don't think it's going to be the main thing that's going to make Sony go, oh yeah, well, definitely let's pay like $1 billion and make this new game. But it could make Sony, you'd hope that they would know this, but executives aren't very smart. It might tell Sony that there's a lot of people that are still interested in the franchise, and that all of those incubated games that Bungie's currently working on, that one of those Destiny ones might be a better choice over a non-Destiny one.
I'll
I
be
feel
the
that.
villain.
Go ahead.
I think that it's all posturing. I think if you were out there doing that, not Watts. I'm saying if these 300,000 people really cared that much and they actually bought and support the thing that they cared about so much about, then Destiny would not be in the situation that it is in. There's a reason why it missed its funding marks. There's a reason why it didn't do it. A lot of y'all were not buying the DLC. Their estimates, I don't know if their estimates were too high, but they were not getting the amount of money that they needed for Destiny. And I've said before, and I stand on it, I think Destiny is a black hole that absorbs too much money. And when, like what you said, Watts, if Microsoft tells you hell no, and they have infinite money glitch, that's a problem. And so I agree with the idea that, hey, let's go ahead and let's make a single player game in the Destiny universe, or let's expand the Destiny universe, but not make it into Destiny 2. That might be a better idea, but I feel like that just makes people more pissed because they're strictly asking you they want looter shooter Destiny.
Yeah.
If you make something that's not looter shooter Destiny and you make a racing game with sparrows, they're going to be mad. They're going to be like, are you insulting us
That's
now?
the thing. People kept bringing up like, why don't they spin off like SRL or whatever into its own game? And I remember this happening because I remember being really annoyed by it. So Bungie and a lot of other studios will have like game jams that they do where just in your spare time, this isn't usually on work time. It might be one day out of your like year of making games where people just come up with unique games and they get to stretch their creative muscles a little bit and kind of, you know, make something that's really small. That's just like a game that they can show off to each other. One of those games was a Destiny dating simulator. Oh. And I remember this news coming out on Twitter and people were so angry that they spent a day making this Destiny dating simulator. So I'm like, I actually think if they released a $20 Destiny dating simulator, then it would do really, really well. But the community, there is a portion of the community that are just like, no, we want Destiny 1, Destiny 2, and it needs to be like this, or we're going to burn you to the ground and you don't deserve to have a studio or a job anymore. So that's I would love the SRL or, you know, single player dredging your Dark Souls game.
I'm sick of the hypocrisy of the Destiny community saying they want, like what you said, Watts, we want this, and then we want this. But these are the same people that were also making content and talking about how dead. I remember when D2 was like, it's worse. And people were like literally pushing that D2 was dead. It needed to die. I remember people saying it needed to die. So I don't understand how we go from you exclaiming and also like the audio and visuals there, dog. We got y'all in 4K, all having all these videos, all of you stating that when Destiny was at its low, I think it was even before the final shape had happened. You guys had basically said, I think it was like around Lightfall, that D2 needed to die for a multitude of different reasons, and that they needed to go to Destiny 3, or that they needed to let it in. And that when they were started vaulting content because they were like, we technically can't get all this to work all the time.
When they updated the engine that everyone was bashing on about.
You ever seen Intervention, Ethos? Have you ever seen the show Intervention?
Yes, I've seen the Intervention. Who has not seen Intervention?
Yeah, so like for those who haven't seen the show, they basically have interventions for people who are like drug addicts. I'd argue it's the same thing. You're saying you don't understand the hypocrisy.
You call Destiny fans drug addicts?
Yes, because look. If you have like a family member or you've seen it on Intervention, they always sit somebody down and they say, hey man, this crack, it's destroying your body. Please stop smoking crack. And what do? Half the time they sit there and they start crying and they say, you know what? You're right. My family hates me. I've been stealing. I need to get my life together. And then they go to rehab and they say, why you take my crack? It's the same thing, bro. They said they wanted it to be dead. They took it away. They said, wait a minute. Whoa.
Not even like that.
So you need to make Destiny 3. That's going to be Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, but bigger and better. But you also need to keep making Destiny 2, but it needs to be expansions that I like, that are big and have a raid all the time. I need you to do all these things, but for $2.
They need a bigger crack rock is what you're saying.
The game to still be active. They want it to still get content. And at the same time, they want a part of the studio working on Destiny 3. And it has to be in every shape and form better than 1 and 2.
Yes.
And it must include.
That's physically not possible. Nobody has that many great ideas, money, and resources. Like, what are you talking about?
The money thing is, it's really rough, man. So the petition, I'm cool with the petition. I think that's fine. What I'm not fine with is these clickbait ass gaming journalists who are like, this petition has more players than Marathon's peak. And I'm like, you're comparing you don't even have to put your name. You're comparing clicking a button on a website to purchasing and playing a video. Like, these are not comparable. You're just trying to drum up clicks, which I didn't click because I ain't clicking that.
All right. God damn, I'm not clicking that shit.
I'm not clicking it.
I'm leaning towards like 80%. I agree with Watts. I don't think anything's gonna happen, but I'll give it a 20% chance that maybe they might start working on Destiny 3. The only problem is if they do start working on Destiny 3, you can't get too excited because it's gonna be another 5 years before you even get it. But the reason I give it a 20% chance is for the simple fact that it has nothing to do with Bungie. We have to keep in mind, what did Sony say last year? They want more live service games. That's why we're seeing more and more being published. I feel like just that allure of the idea of just that infinite money glitch could potentially tempt them into saying like, look, Bungie, we don't like how you handle shit. Maybe we didn't handle our situation the best with Concord either. but we need this money. Like, think about we could make crazy money, so we gonna cut you this blank check. Go ahead and announce it. Don't show no gameplay because we know you don't got none. Just put a 3 in the Destiny logo, and we'll see you in 5 years.
First of all, that doesn't even make remote sense. I can't fathom, especially after Concord flopped and cost them that amount of money. I don't think that they would even risk a Destiny.
Ethos, they just announced that Horizon live service game. What are you talking about?
But the Horizon live service game is still a fraction of how much it would cost for D3. I guarantee. No. I played it. NDA, I can't say anything about it. I played it. I'm telling you now, there is no way the amount of money that it would take them to make that faction games compared to D3 would be remotely in the same ballpark.
Did you think Concord was a $200 million game? Because I wouldn't. I think the amount
of, it can easily. Now that I know, it could easily reach 200 million.
If we're talking about all the cinematics that we probably have not seen, all the seasons of content they probably created ahead of time that we have never seen, that they were pre-planning because they thought it was going to be some massive thing.
Being put in that TV
episodes, the TV show thing, they were probably already early making cinematics for and stuff like that. I can see how if it's a 200 million or whatever it is in theory of it dissipating, I can see that. But like, I just don't know how anybody from a financial standpoint can look at Destiny 2 and not even just like, okay, it's like this. Your audio is not matching your visuals. You're telling me that you want this thing. But then when I see how many people are currently playing Destiny 2, how many people are actually buying stuff from Destiny 2's microtransactions, how many people actually bought the expansions for the last 2 expansions, and how much profit did they turn? How can I realistically bet on that all of a sudden, if we just make a new one, everything's going to go great, everything's going to go smooth, and all of a sudden this big gap that's been lost because of Destiny or because they need a new one is just going to come back? Because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even think D2 when it launched, did D2 outsell D1? I'm pretty sure it did it? When it first came out.
No idea. Not probably not when it first came out.
Yeah, I don't think Destiny 2 outsold Destiny 1 when it first launched because
Destiny 2 didn't launch in a good state at all.
In a good state. D1 didn't enter into a good state either. So it's like, so your both times you didn't launch in a good state. Do we really think that Bungie the third time is just going to launch in a perfect state? Marathon launched in a really good state, and look how they treated it. So it's like, what do we expect?
Third time's the charm, right?
Marathon was the third time.
Yeah,
but this is the thing, man. I'm just like, after watching that Jason Schreier video, I was sitting there and I'm like, so this is me speaking as a Sony executive. I was looking at, I'm like, man, yeah. I mean, you're looking at this and you're like, yeah, you're gonna have to lay off a lot of people, and you cannot make something as large as Destiny 3 just with how many people you're gonna have to pay to make that thing and how many years it's gonna take. So. Yeah, we know that they're incubating games. Some of them are Destiny related games. We don't know what that means. I think a Destiny 3, it could be possible in the future, but I just don't know if Sony is going to feel confident enough to be like, yeah, let's give you, I mean, it's going to be upwards of $1 billion, I would say, to make a Destiny 3 at this point.
How about we give Bungie a break and let them just make something different?
That's what I'm like, just make something not live service, but also not in the Destiny universe.
We just had a franchise that literally outlived Halo, like Halo on Bungie's side. Like Halo from Bungie went from what, like 2000, when did Halo 1 come out?
2001, I believe.
1 or 2?
I want to say it was 01.
Okay, and then it ended when? 2010? Because that was when Reach finished and they were done with it, right?
Yeah, whatever year Reach came out, I don't know.
Okay, so we're talking like 10-year gap, like basically 10 years of Halo that they did, like a decade of Halo.
Are you trying to argue that 343 games don't count?
What do you think?
Yeah, I was.
You already know.
I hate them games.
Yeah, they don't count. So yeah, a 9-year run.
Okay, so a 9-year run. You had Destiny outlive a 9-year run. Like it went on from if you talk about from the very beginning of 2014 all the way to 2026, y'all had a really good run.
12 years.
You had 12 years.
God, time flies.
It does, yeah.
Let the studio make something different. Just let them make something new, bro. Let's just call Destiny. Hey, we had a good run, y'all. Y'all had a really good run. Let's wrap it up.
Is it obligated for Bungie to make a first-person shooter? I would be curious to see them try something completely different.
I think this is their DNA.
I think they're true. I mean,
Respawn made Jedi. I don't know.
They did make something different, yeah.
True.
The incubation project that was spun out into being a Sony studio. We don't really know much about it, but it was kind of penned as like a MOBA-esque game.
Oh my
And that
God,
was being
High
made
Guard
by Bungie
lives.
it might not even be first person. It might be third person. It could be top
subject it.
down. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the next question though. There are two questions here. Yeah, one like, okay, Sony, again, you spent all this money on Bungie, you spent all this money on this one studio, and I would, like I said, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, yeah, Bungie, you just have to keep making FPS games. But if they did allow them to use their creative freedom to actually try something else, I mean, do you think they would be successful in doing it? One, and two, even if they do something totally different, do you think that the damage has already been done with the fans? Because the way that they're acting, I don't think that there's any coming back, because I've seen people now come to the point where they're like, I just want Bungie to die itself. They're like, forget Destiny, forget Marathon. I want Bungie to die. Bungie is the culprit. Bungie has wronged us for the last time, and I want them to cease to exist.
They said the same thing about Destiny 2. I'll put it that way. They'll say that. But then the day, if it does happen, I bet you'd be the first ones
They'll
crying.
Rejoice. Yeah,
right,
you're right.
Do a paragraph crying about nostalgia and man, things could have been so much better and stuff like that. And then, okay, maybe we made a mistake.
So they're just crying. You think they're just crying once again? They're crying wolf. And
me personally, I know what this is like. As a Mass Effect fan, I know what this reminds me so much of what happened with Mass Effect 3. I'm not joking. TBH, remember, this reminds me so much of how BioWare fans reacted to Mass Effect 3's ending. It's almost a one-to-one. This reminds me so much of the stages of grief. They are in the anger stage right now. Now, stage 3, which are doing they're doing petitions, they're now entering into the bargain phase. So the bargaining phase is where they're going to start, we'll make a deal with you, please, Bunch. Do
Change
this or
the
that.
ending.
Please. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
eventually, they will get to acceptance. It's going to take some time, but eventually they're going to have to get to that stage where they got to put on their big boy pants and they just have to accept the reality that they now live in. And that, due to a multitude of factors, economic factors, development factors, and yes, even mistakes that Bungie has made, they are now where they are, and there's nothing they can do about it. And you have to just accept you had something good. At least you had a good ride. You had a good journey. You had something that was so memorable. You met so many memorable people. But life moves on. The earth is not the same that it was 3 decades ago than it is now. Society, the U.S. was not how it was. The United States was not the same United States that it was, a generation ago. There's a reason these things happen and things move on. We talk about all the time on this podcast. We talk about, back in the day when we were like this and things were like this and that. And now you look at gaming today and it's a completely different landscape. It's not the same. Everyone says it all the time. Gaming's not the same. It's different. Gaming's dead. This is just part of reality. You got to accept it.
Yeah. And so it's why I really like that they're making Marathon. Don't yell at me. Because Marathon, like Destiny had these moments where they had these like really creepy cosmic horror missions or moments in time, but that is Marathon. Marathon is creepy horror, sci-fi, cosmic horror stuff. And Bungie does that really, really, really well. So I always said, like, playing Destiny over the years, I was like, man, I'd love for them to make like a spooky cosmic horror game. And I was thinking more of like a single player experience or maybe like a co-op kind of thing, but I do get to have that experience with Marathon. They're flexing that muscle and they're really freaking good at it. So I would love to see them use more of those talents. They make some of the best skyboxes I've ever seen, the best feeling gunplay. Like, there's a lot that they could do, I think, outside of just making more Destiny.
Yeah, I guess overall, I just don't know, man. I don't have an answer for this. I wish I could give you all. Dude,
I'm telling you, JD, I was sitting there watching that video, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know how they make Destiny 3. I don't know.
You literally have the entire community imploding on each other. They're wanting to fight each other. Literally, we're having infighting now. Like, I'm seeing some big creators to get mad at each other because one person like Destiny and the other person like, how could you do this? Like, it's to that point now where they're talking about having a fight on freaking Aiden Ross's brand risk crap, and they're going to do a boxing match. I'm like, what are we? Like, what are we doing now?
Have both creators have Joe Ziegler for Marathon and have whoever's in charge, have them box, and whoever wins, that's the franchise that goes forward.
They have to dress as characters from each game. They have to cosplay.
Yeah, let's do
Joe
that.
Ziegler, you got to dress up as dress up as a destroyer, and then have a Titan dress up have them
As
punch
a Titan, that would be perfect.
have them punch each other to death. Yeah.
Oh, Destiny, Vinny, please. I know it's hard, but move on. Be like Watch, like get into Souls games or something. You have to try something else. Like this, is what we say about the people sitting there, no games to play. Y'all are acting like there are no games to play.
Go play Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Warframe would be great.
You know what I would actually recommend for Destiny
MMO,
players? Check out Witchfire. Witchfire is like, I think if you're into Destiny, I think you could get into Witchfire. Just take a look at it. Take a look at it. You know what? Actually, today, so I went to a coffee and cars or cars and coffee thing. We got talking to a guy who initially worked at Blizzard and Epic, and he's not working anywhere at the moment. He really likes Destiny, started Arc Raiders, and was like, I kind of dig Arc Raiders. We've managed to sign him up to play Marathon for free on Tuesday. So I got one more Marathon player.
One more to the player count. I'm about to do that. I'm going to push my propaganda. I got several friends who are just like this or I don't know about it. I'm going to be pushing the agenda in this free weekend.
I was literally just like, do you like the way Destiny feels? I mean, Marathon is, if it feels like if they've got a free week.
I got a couple Arc friends that aren't liking Arc Raiders. I'm like, there's a interesting thing about that. We should come on.
I'll teach you how to play. Just come on.
Yeah.
Now's the time. Now's the time.
My husband got his Instagram info. He wants to play with us. So
there you go.
We're gonna have to play with him free weekend.
One more for the free
He's a UI UX designer too. He was looking at Bungie and looking at Marathon.
He can cringe at the Marathon UI.
I know. I think he's gonna see what's fun with that one.
If he doesn't like it, we're gonna end up that friendship's gonna be short-lived. We're like, I don't like this guy anymore.
This is
he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Other Sony news. Sony patents AI feature that can play ads during loading screens. According to this report, Sony has filed a patent for a system that uses AI to show players short-form content while they wait for their game to resume. It would use picture-in-picture display videos on the screen while loading takes place in the background. There are a number of different content types mentioned in the patent, from social media clips to gameplay highlights. It even mentions showing a report how other players in the game outlining their ranks and loadouts. This system could also be used to display ads, either for the game currently being played or something external. For example, if you're playing Fortnite, an advert could be played for the new season or a skin coming to the store. How are we? Keep in mind, just because a patent is filed doesn't mean it's going to be in the next PlayStation 6 or 7. Patents get filed all the time for various different reasons, but it does mean there's a possibility. So let's entertain it and act like this feature will be in the PlayStation 6. What's this doing for you, Jay?
It's funny that like almost the majority of Sony patents that we've been talking about have been AI based. So clearly Sony, we just got done talking about them and what we do with Bungie, but it seemed like they are going all in, or at least they're having the thoughts now. They're having the conversations about going all in with AI. So you have AI ads, you have the AI possibly playing the game for you, you have them doing clips for you. So this is all interesting. We all knew that, and we talked about it before. We all knew that at some point, I think that gaming will be more ad based. I know that we were speaking about like 2K. Like 2K is one big ad. Like the city is one big ad. So like you just see ads all over the place. But they're going to find a way. These companies are going to find a way to embed these ads into your video games now, where the problem is going to be how invasive are these ads going to be, because we've seen plenty of other applications like Twitch, for example, where ads are just out of control and like you're literally missing out on the gameplay because these ads are freaking running all the time. So that's really going to be where it comes down to. How invasive are these ads going to be? Or they're going to get to a point where like you do find a way to implement them and people are just like, hey, these ads are in this game. I don't even want to play the game anymore. Like that's going to be the main thing that these companies are going to have to tackle. I don't want to say this is inevitable, but I think there's probably going to be no way that we're going to avoid this in the long term, because they're going to find a way to implement these ads. But and I think they're going to somehow, some way make whatever they're doing into a subscription to, they're in order for you to get no ads, they're going to probably try this to nickel and dime us. I know. They're going to find a way to nickel and dime us, man. We're going to eventually own nothing. Everything's going to be a freaking subscription service. It's going to be nasty. I really hope it doesn't get to that point, but we literally got done talking about how expensive it is to make a video game. So these companies are going to find a way to try to get this money somehow, some way from us. We're gonna all get priced out.
So what you're saying, I feel like that's how a lot of people would feel. I'm gonna throw a different scenario out there. They filed this patent, and what I'm confused about is so in the article they kind of position it as if this is like, oh, look at this brain rot shit. But like you were talking about, I think this is more about serving ads to people, them trying to generate more revenue. But what I'm confused is right now on the PS5, the base PS5, there's an M2 SSD in it, which is fast. And there's even faster SSDs out there now. I mean, if you play Spider-Man, the what's the name? The fast travel is ultra fast, or any of these other games on the PS5. So I would imagine on the PlayStation 6, it's going to be even faster, the loading screens. So what I'm confused is, how is the AI going to serve you ads if loading is going to be even faster than in next generation, unless they find a way to purposely prolong the loading screens just to serve you? Because if you know anything about serving
That's what
ads,
they're gonna do.
Yeah, if you know anything about serving ads, one of the reasons why short form content struggles to make money is because most advertisers want at least a 60-second ad read, 60 to 90 seconds. That's why a lot of YouTubers, that's why the ad is usually that long, because that's enough time for somebody to really take in the information. That's why TikTok and YouTube Shorts struggles, because advertisers don't want to place ads on it, because usually those videos are 15 seconds or less, the most successful ones. So how are they going to do this with the PlayStation 6 if it has even faster loading screens? It has these MVEs or whatever the new shit is, these new SSDs that you blink your eye and the game fucking loads. Are they going to purposely ruin the fucking experience just so you can get the latest Call of Duty microtransaction ads? That would be a terrible world. It doesn't make sense to me. So I thought, what if this patent is not for the PlayStation 6, 7, or 8? And what if it's for the PlayStation 4? Now, we know Sony doesn't want to continue to they don't want to give up this market because it makes a lot of money. I mean, GTA 5 sells 10 million copies a year. I don't know who the fuck is buying it, but they do. And we know that PlayStation 4 loads and gets really hot. It loads really slow and it gets really fucking hot. So what if they found a way to patch this into the PS4 and serve them more ads to eventually get them off of it to get a 5? What do you guys think?
I mean, you're not wrong, but this is also your freaking slander. This is also your slander against the PS4 bro keeps. That's hilarious. I mean, you bring up a good point though. Like, all jokes aside, that's an amazing point, because I mean, you play Ghost of Yotei, you fast travel again. It literally is a
when is the ad
so
going
to do it? Yeah, they're not going to be able to play it during any loading screen. They're not going to be any loading screens. So
maybe they're thinking about multiplayer games because it has to load into a match.
That's why they mentioned Fortnite.
Let's take the concept of technology, because they say processing power doubles every year and a half. So by the time the PlayStation 6 comes out, even if it is a multiplayer game, it should still load pretty quickly. I'd still say that argument still sticks. And then also take PC into account. Like, they can only do so much between the different versions of the game if everything's going to have crossplay. That's why I said we can't rule this out potentially being for the PS4. What if they just want to serve them ads because they got slow loading screens? Milk that audience. Ethos, your game dev. What do you think?
Fuck no, I don't want any of this. No.
Yeah.
No.
Good take.
No. No. What am I supposed to say? Yeah, man.
No.
No. Stop that, Sony. Stop. No.
Any thoughts, Watts?
Yeah, like you said, the only way they're going to be able to meaningfully give us ads is if they slow down loading times. And I would not put it past any company to make a experience worse for the customer so that they can milk you more.
Let's say they do sabotage the PlayStation 6. Do you think that the PlayStation Nation, the Sony ponies, would be upset by it?
They should be.
They would be, but they'll be like, "Oh, I'm so angry."
You're right. They'll throw money here. Throw money at that. So they can do no wrong. Remember, so they can do no wrong. As long as they get that Insomniac slop, they get that Sony Santa Monica slop. You're gonna keep serving them. They're gonna keep winning.
Third-person cinematic action game, boy.
Give me more 007 slop and I'll be all right.
What about PC gamers? Y'all think they upset about this? Valve just announced this past week they are increasing the price of the Steam Deck. The 512 gigabyte model is going from $549 to $790, and then the 1 terabyte model is going from $650 to $950. If you add tax, that shit's $1,000. On what, a piece of 4 or 5 year old hardware. Watts, how we feeling about this price hike? What's your biggest takeaway from it?
It just sucks, man. It just sucks. I'm not necessarily mad at any company raising their price of hardware right now because I don't think it's necessarily their fault. Feel the same way about Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. It just sucks because we're seeing an industry get progressively more and more expensive, and it's an industry that we've always been able to participate in, whether you are from a poor family or a rich family. You had like some kind of gaming device at some point in your life, and it's just making it impossible. And you can't even get the old versions of the Steam Deck anymore, like the non OLED ones. So that would have been nice because I have an original one, and so it would be nice if those were still available because that would be cheaper. So then you could have like, hey, if you want like, we are upping our price, but we're bringing back the cheaper ones. That would be maybe a nice thing that they could do. But yeah, it's just, all I can say is that it sucks. Everything's more expensive, not necessarily their fault. And that's why we always end up talking about capitalism. Capitalism is the reason why so many games are getting abandoned, layoffs are happening, prices are going up of everything. It all boils back down to capitalism.
I do agree all that sucks and blame capitalism, but I do gotta give a little pushback and say I understand the price hike is happening because y'all president, y'all voted for, not me. He's causing a lot of problems in the world, and also allowing these data centers to be built, raising those RAM prices. But I do question. I would love to know why it's jumping $300 in price for a device a handheld that's 4 or 5 years old. I could understand if it was the PlayStation 6 or the PS5 Pro that still has fairly up to date. I'm like, why is this so much more expensive? That's the part that I'm a little confused by. And then my second takeaway is, if this Steam Deck is $950, that Steam machine is definitely gonna be $1,000. It's gonna be like $1,500.
Oh yeah.
I'm going ahead and say I'm out. I'm not buying a Steam machine. I can't do it. What you thinking, Ethos? I see you nodding your head.
Yeah, we're cooked. The worst part is, which is the scary part is, I don't think we're ever gonna go back to a normal.
Wait,
I
why?
think that's like, because I don't trust corporations. I just don't trust them to do the right thing. I think we've seen time and time again they will not do the right thing, and they're going to price gouge, and they will do anytime they get an inch, they're going to take a mile. I've never seen, to the best of my ability, when inflation was starting to go back down and starting to normalize, I didn't really feel like I feel like some prices were starting to go down, but I don't feel like it ever went back to how it felt before the pandemic. I just don't. Not to be like a negative Nancy or like a downer, but like I just don't see a world where, the Steam machine is going to go back to being another $300 machine. Where when I was arguing saying, oh, it's a great deal, which it was at the time, it was a phenomenal deal for the price of power. But now it's just everything's out of whack. I just don't think we're ever going to go back to reality. Or by the time that reality comes back, it's going to be another 7 to 10 years before we even see anything reflecting back to something semi more normal, which I think what's going to be, I kind of perceive everything as, I feel like we're all the frogs being boiled. I feel like they're just keep nudging it further and further, making it a little hotter, and they're just trying to figure out what's their boiling point. Like, how much can we keep cooking them for until they basically say, I literally cannot afford this anymore. And as long as there's still a market that's still saying, I'm willing to still pay for this, or I'm still willing to buy scalper prices, or I'm still willing to buy overpriced or surge pricing. If that still is a thing, then they're going to say, oh, well, we're still making money, so why stop? So I don't think I'm scared to say this, but I'm terrified to think that we're now living in a world where now future consoles, future gaming devices, future anything is now going to be upwards of a minimum, like just floor, like of $1,000 for you to just get into the hobby. That's insane. I agree with what Watts is saying. Like back in the day, it used to be like a hand-me-down thing where You know, if you couldn't afford, you know, you couldn't get the PS1, well, guess what? You got the Nintendo 64. You got this Nintendo 64 version. We don't have that anymore. Now we have console parity. Now we have everything getting more expensive. Now we have literally where device managers are intentionally harming our devices, our older devices, to make them more inept to be able to do the daily processes that we need them to do in order to force us into these terrible ecosystems. I think that we're living in a world that I don't know how to say this without, I don't want to get us demonetized. I feel like we're being like technologically like, you know, the R word. I feel like that is the world with it we're living into. Because if you think about it, like, we never asked for this. We didn't ask these tech companies to do all this stuff with AI. We didn't ask to build massive data centers around the world and expand them and ruin neighborhoods and stuff. We didn't ask for any of this. They just did it. They didn't ask for our permission. They just took it from us, and they just said, you're going to accept us and you're going to accept AI as your new thing without any of us having a say in it. And anytime we do try to stay and say, hey, we don't like this, or we don't like the way that this is going, they tell us to shut up and dribble. So.
They didn't just do it, to be fair. It's also y'all president y'all voted for, not me. He enabled it. So.
I mean, even before that, like, AI was down.
It started it, but like once he got elected, the floodgate got open, bro.
Oh yeah. Well, the problem is that I feel like with a different administration, not to say it had to be Biden, but I feel like it was a different administration. There was Biden. There would have been at least Lisa Khan. There would have at least been somebody at the consumer protection level that would have at least, or monopoly level or government level, that would have balanced this a little bit, or it'd have been like, hold on, we need to put some guardrails in place, or hold on, we need to make sure we're doing this right way. Instead, we're just doing this. I've had this argument with my brother all the time about AI. And the thing that scares me is that there is a large swath of Americans that have been basically brainwashed into the idea of American superiority, that we have to do it this way, and we have to cut corners, and we have to potentially put ourselves in harm's way because we don't, China's going to beat us. Like that is always the argument. China's going to beat us. And since China's going to beat us, even though they're whooping our ass, right? If China beats us to the AI, to the sentience of AI, it's over. Once they get that, it's over. They're going to dominate the world, and then we're cooked. And that's always been the argument that they try to say. And that's why we have to just accept killing the environment, killing the health of our own citizens, killing our economic chances of growth, killing any chance of you having any sort of mobility in the economic, social economic systems of America. It's second to the divinity of America's goal of being the best thing in the world. And I'm just tired of it. I'm just getting tired of it.
I'm tired.
I'm just tired, boss.
If you made it to this part of the podcast, leave a comment, hashtag Ethos just got dark.
He went deep dive on that one, man.
I'm tired, bro. I'm sorry. I've had this conversation with like 5 different people in the past like month and a half, and I'm just tired, bro. I'm just really getting tired.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with everything you're saying though. Like, I don't think we're going to backtrack. Like the closest thing that we got was freaking Asha and Microsoft reneging on the gamepad. I think that's all we're going to get.
Everyone reacted like, what? Like, it was a shock.
That's why I said I was surprised. I'm glad to say I was wrong about that one.
Consumer?
40% increase. Like, going back to what you said, 40% increase is crazy. Like that. Like, okay, $150, $100, but 40%. That's just ridiculous. I'm looking at the certified refurbished. Of course, all of those are going because that's where you can get the first version, the LCD version. All of those are going. I looked at eBay. I was like, let me check and see what the prices are looking like. What are people trying to resell their OLED for? It's looking like it's between $650 and $700 on average. What people are trying to sell their 512 gigabyte OLED version for. So I'm like, if you're going to charge $700, I might as well just pay $789. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, but people they're trying to capitalize. They're trying to they're trying to nickel and dime it and get every penny out of you. But still, like, this sucks. Like, I don't understand this. And yeah, the Steam Deck is easily going to be over $1,000. We're easily getting priced out. So just get ready, y'all, because there are going to be a lot of people that, we're going to go back to the days of like being a child and having no money because we had no job and trying to rely on our parents to get it. You imagine taking your parent to the store now and be like, hey, I want this new console and it's $1,000. Your parent, unless they're rich, are going to say, hell no. Like, it's not even going to be a question. You be lucky if you get it on Christmas now. Like, we're going to be get back to those times, because like we can't even get the hardware, like Waz said, to even get into trying to buy the video games we're playing. The video games are going to be $70-$80. We're going to be trying to, see if we're going to push the agenda if GTA 6 ends up being $100 or more. So very scary times, people. So just buckle up, because we are not in the same world that we were before. So I don't like this, but this is the unfortunate reality. Unless, we do what Ethos said and just don't buy it. I mean, just don't get into it. But the whales are going to wail. They do it every time. So what are we going to do about it? We can't fight the whales.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't getting one, bro. I was been joking. Maybe I'll get one. Maybe. It's funny. It's so bad. Somebody left a comment. The person, I did a giveaway last year for a Steam Deck. And they left a comment. They was like, yo, I'm so glad you gave me one, TBH, bro. When this news first came out, I said, damn, one of y'all got one for me before I even got one for my fucking self, bro.
I don't know why.
And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it now. It's too much, bro. It's too much. I don't want it that damn, but
yeah, I see so many people like, man, I'm glad I got one. I mean, I had the same sentiment. I'm glad I got one. I ended up getting old man too. I was like, I'm super. I got to hold on this for a little
What
bit.
did you say, Watts? Let me go put some air in my PC.
Let me go
take care of that shit.
Yeah, I got to do the same soon.
Take care of it.
Take care of it. We don't want to see no more PS4s or roaches in it. Please clean y'all products, man, because this is no joke the way these prices is going up. To lighten the mood, though, on a more lighthearted note, it would seem that the rumors are true. We've been hearing it for the past year, that it is, in fact, CD Projekt Red was working on a DLC. They announced it this past week. The Witcher 3 DLC is coming, and it's going to be a large expansion. The executives of CD Projekt Red revealed more details about the upcoming Songs of the Past expansion, which is set to be released next year in 2027. If you've been looking for an excuse to revisit the game, the upcoming DLC, they said, will be just as big as Blood and Wine. But they said this is super subjective as well, because, some people just run through the world. It really depends on how you're going to play, what you play through it, but we're definitely making a big expansion, and that's the message we want to send out. If you weren't keeping up with the rumors, apparently this DLC is supposed to bridge the gap between 3 and Witcher 4, and now they're saying as big as Blood and Wine. You're a huge Witcher fan, Ethos. What's your thoughts?
I'm sad because I needed it to come out this year for my parlay. So that was a little sad, but I'll take the good news regardless as a fan of Witcher 3. So, outside of we don't know anything yet, I know that studio also helped them, I believe, with Cyberpunk, some of the updates that they had done like around Phantom Liberty and Post. So it looks like they've really integrated with this newer studio that they've like, I don't know, have some like sort of financial relationship with, where it's like, you help us co-develop our products, we'll probably pay for your studio or pay stuff to help us with our products. So I mean, I ain't gonna turn away no free deal, or not free, but I ain't gonna turn away more Witcher DLC. I love that game. That's one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm excited to see Geralt. I'm curious to see like how this connects, because I feel like Blood and Wine kind of finished Geralt's story like in a really nice note. Really like allowed him to like retire in a way. So I hope it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, we're digging up a corpse to to make him do it. But if it ties into Witcher 4, feels like a prologue to Witcher 4 and kind of gets people, hyped to see Ciri in the driver's seat, then I'm down for it for sure.
You believe it's been 11 years since Witcher 3 came out?
Yeah, I can believe that.
Holy again, man!
That.
Like, wow.
Yeah, I can believe that.
No.
Y'all got any thoughts on the DLC? Watch, Jay?
No.
I just know the Witcher fans are happy, so enjoy that.
I'm happy for Witcher fans.
Happy for them too.
I'm happy for Witcher fans.
The Witcher.
What are your thoughts about this? Xbox news. We was just talking about Asha a moment ago. New reports claim that the upcoming remake of Halo called Campaign Evolved, which is going to be a remake of the original the original Combat Evolved, with some changes to some of the pacing and the story that people had complaints with, built in Unreal Engine 5. An insider is claiming in this report that Campaign Evolved's development used a lot of outsourcing. It's not even being made by 343. I'm at Halo Studios. This is they basically said that there's so much outsourcing that basically they didn't even help with it, 343 or Halo Studios. They're just kind of overseeing it as a manager. And when I read this, I was like, at first my initial reaction was, oh, this is a red flag. I really don't like that studio. But I was like, they really don't give a fuck. And then I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. All the Halo games they made suck so much they had to change their studio name. They had to rebrand to act like it's something different, even though it's the same fucking team. I was like, maybe because somebody else is making it, maybe it'll actually be good. What do y'all think?
No.
That is
so wishful thinking. No.
Oh shit.
So we're definitely going to see more outsourcing in general because of the price of how expensive it is to make games in the US because of our economy is ass and people have to be paid more because our economy is ass. So you're going to see like outsourcing has always been a thing, but I don't know if you guys have noticed when you're watching the credits of games now, it's like there's a lot more outsourcing that is happening and it's going to keep happening because it's cheaper to pay those people to make parts of the game than for you to make it in-house in the US. So yeah, but this is kind of the case of like Beast of Reincarnation, the Pokemon team, where it's like, oh, it's being made by the Pokemon team, but they're kind of just like overseeing it, and it's being made by a completely different Korean dev studio. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Halo. I don't expect anything. I just when it comes out, I go and hope that it's good.
To give you an idea, TBH, the reason why Halo Infinite had so many problems at launch and why they did it was because they were doing a lot of outsourcing with the engine. And they were moving contractors. They were moving through contractors.
So what does 343 do?
Get rid of this. No, hold on. Let me stop. I don't know. Hey,
so wait, you're telling me they're not even like untalented? They're just bad managers? And directors?
I hate to call developers untalented, but I will say there is a studio currently in financial trouble, and they might be some experts in Halo. It might be in Windows help.
Oh, Lord.
I'm not saying there might be better managers, but there might be some people out there that might have some expert. But Grant, I mean, the funny thing is that Infinite came out, and a lot of people liked Infinite. It's shortfalls, but they went and got Homeboy. What was his name? Forgot his name. And then he left. One of the OGs of Halo. Microsoft went and got him, poached him from Bungie to go.
Pete Parsons?
No, it wasn't Pete Parsons. It was.
He was from Microsoft.
I thought you said Kid Carson for a second.
No, he was one of the original Bungie people. No, was it Jason? Was it Jason? I forgot. All you gotta know is it was one of the OGs who worked on Bungie. He basically came on as creative director when the project was having a lot of problems, and he helped them ship it and to figure out like when the campaign. Remember when it first got revealed and people were like, "What the?" Like they were clowning how bad it looked. Mm-hmm. Basically, they had called him in, and he helped them restructure the what they needed to do to fix Halo, so that it would be received better. And what he did, apparently, like a lot of people said, like he did help them perform a miracle to make Halo Infinite come out. You know, the way that when everyone initially received it was like, wow, this is really feels like Halo's back. So.
Was it Joseph Staten? Is that him?
Yeah, I think it was Joseph Staten. I remember it's Joseph, so I think it was him. Yeah, he was there. He was there. He went to Microsoft, and then I think he's left. So I think he might be back at Bungie. I don't know where he is, but he was there, and then he left a little bit after Infinite had already been out a couple months or a year. Yeah, no, I look. I feel it as I've done outsourcing before. I literally had a secondary studio that was helping me at one time with Samurai Zero, and I think the main thing you have to do with those type of things is you got to have a relationship with them. And they were an awesome group of people.
Or Paul Bertone?
Who?
Paul Bertone? It's one of them. Joseph, he said he was a head of director. He joined 343 in 2022 to work on Infinite. So
maybe he was there. He was in the
Joseph with Paul Bertone. So
yeah, he was up in the videos and stuff like that. Like when they were talking about Halo and when they were doing the whole videos and trailers and marketing, like he was front and center. And that's when people had more faith in Halo Infinite after that, because there was news that came out like he joined the studio to help them refocus Halo Infinite to make sure it would launch. Kind of like how fun fact, there's another person who's infamous for this, Rod Ferguson, who is one of the co-guys with Cliffy that he made Gears. He helped Cliffy and him and Cliffy work together on Gears. And then after that, he stayed with Gears for Coalition. But what you might also not know, or you may be aware of, is that he's also infamously known in the industry as they're called closers, which is effectively if your project's fucked and it's going through a lot of cash and it's not getting closer to the finish line, you call in, you get somebody in charge of the project who has this personality type of a closer who can get in and get the game done. Like basically like make the decisions that need to be made from people who are being indecisive in the studio and like set due dates and like make sure the studio gets the product out of the door at a certain due date. So he's responsible for, believe it or not, BioShock Infinite wouldn't have actually probably ever got released if it wasn't for Ferguson, because Kevin Levine was being Kevin Levine. And he's also responsible for a bunch of other games that basically when there's a problem, Microsoft calls Rod in and basically says, yo, we need you to help us lock in for this game to make sure it comes out whatever release date we need to. So there's people like that in the industry who are just very good managers, which is what you're saying. You got to have good managers. And when it comes to remote, when you're working like with an export studio, you got to have a good manager who knows how to communicate what the vision is supposed to be and that your guys are working close together. If you do, which I'm not saying this is what Halo is doing, but if you do a sort of thing where you're just like, here's the money, here's what we need done, get it done in 8 months, then you end up with like Batman Arkham Knight PC port. To give you an idea how bad it can be, you could end up with like them failing at to release to have the game ready when it's supposed to be, or it ends up not being quality because of miscommunication and people not paying attention. The Halo Master Chief Edition, when they remade those also were outsourced. I'm pretty sure the 2 and 3. I could have swore I read somewhere that they were also doing a lot of outsourcing for the Master Chief Edition because obviously it's a massive game. So yeah. It sometimes can be good, sometimes good, sometimes bad. 3.6 rotogens for people who get that reference. That's a deep cut.
Only time will tell. Hopefully during that Xbox event we have coming up, maybe we'll see.
So what's the impression? Because I know what did you guys think like when you saw it? Because I'm not really into Halo OG, like the first game. I'm not even like a hardcore Halo person, but
my impression is I played this game already and I don't really care to play it again. But I do think it could be it could appeal to the PS5 because it's on PS5 now. People who always just been PlayStation people, I could see it appealing to them if they never played it. But I just wish it would have included the multiplayer.
Is there a concern that it might not feel like Halo because they switched engines?
Yeah,
I've seen some people say that.
I would say so.
Yeah, because they don't like UE5. You already know how that is. So yeah, it may not feel like it, but yeah, it did nothing for me as well. I didn't like when I saw it. I was like,
what's this for?
Okay, yeah,
PS5 owners.
I mean, I don't.
It's launched on PS5. It is, right?
I believe so.
Oh,
I think
number one top seller, bro. I'm calling it now. It'll be the top seller.
You know they love them Xbox games, boy.
It probably will be.
Yeah, but it's not. I'm good on this. I don't know who it's for truly.
So it's not. It's definitely not for probably OG people.
Not nostalgia. Yeah, nah. This one not getting me.
Okay. I feel like when I think if you're trying to get nostalgia on me, as much as I love the campaign, like Blood Gulch has got to be there, Like, and if it's not, I'm not gonna get excited about it. And there's also just too many games right now, so it's like I feel like because isn't that supposed to come out this year?
I think so.
It's gonna get lost in the shuffle. I don't know, bro. I'm good off of it.
Did Blood Gulch happen in the first game, or was that? I thought it was like in 2 or 3 or something. Am I tripping?
Blood Gulch was in the first game.
It got changed to a different name, but it was the same map.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Yeah, I was like, I didn't know where Blood Gulch came from. I just know it's famous, but
Dragon Quest 6 got announced. I don't know anything about Dragon Quest, but I like the art style. It's vibrant. Looks nice, but I think this is a remake, right? I don't know. Anybody care about Dragon Quest? Any Dragon Quest fans here?
Don't play Dragon Quest.
I've never gotten super into Dragon Quest, not for any
Toriyama, come on,
reason.
I hate Dragon Quest.
You hate Dragon Quest?
Oh dang, yeah, why?
Because that game is single-handedly the reason why I can't get Hunter x Hunter. So yeah, I hate that game with a passion.
Oh,
wait,
Tagashi, the author of Hunter x Hunter, infamously for his hiatus and his back. He's also infamous for being a very big Dragon Quest fan, and he literally caused a hiatus because he wanted to play Dragon Quest to death. So he literally put it on pause, and people were very mad at him for it.
All I can say is I like what I saw from the initial reveal. I like the art style, but I got to see some gameplay, and it depends on when it comes out. I've never gotten into the series. I always feel like I wanted to play Dragon Quest, but it's always like something came out around that time, and then it's like the 12th one in the goddamn series, 100th million, and it's like, maybe I'll put it on the back burner. You just never get around to playing it. But I do feel like the people who play these games, they really love. Yeah, you never played Dragon Quest. I just never got it. My bad. I never played it, bro.
It's there's always going to be franchises that kind of just pass you by. There's going to be some that you miss because you're playing, something else. So it's just always been one of those for me. But it looks great. I think that it looks super good. So we'll see.
So they basically started over from scratch when they changed the name. Okay. Yeah, they changed the name with this one and the logo. So it's taking a little longer in development. But I mean, for all the Dragon Quest fans, hey, again, I can't be mad. I can't be mad at people that have these franchises that they love for a very long time and they're at least still getting, the content for it, whether it's new games or remakes. So
yes, sir. Here's a game we all did play though. Pragmata, one of my favorite games of the year. Recently, Games Radar sat down with the dev team as well as some people from Capcom's PR side, the suits of the PR. And Games Radar asked Pragmata's director and their producer about the prospect of a sequel, and their response was, "Of course, we would love to make a Pragmata 2, but I'm not the only one who decides, so unfortunately, I can't really comment beyond that." He then added that this was purely his own personal opinion on the matter. And that's when some people stepped in and said, please don't take that line out of context. So they're saying that they would love to make it, but I'm going to read between the lines and say that it really depends on how much it sells. And to be honest, we don't know what Capcom's going to deem is a success and what's not. So we can't really tell you if there will be a sequel, but we would like to make one. So what's the name? What are your thoughts on that, Watt?
It's set up, no spoilers in case people haven't reached the end, but it's definitely set up to have something continue if you finish that what was it? Unknown Signal. If you finish Unknown Signal after you finish the game, it's definitely set up to do something. They've left it open, which is good. I would love to see more Pragmata just because that combat system is so dope and so unique. And I think it would be a big shame if it just lived and died with one game and that's it. So whatever they do, whether it's the same people, same universe, same whatever, I just hope that they continue using that system because they spent a lot of time iterating on making that feel good. And that would be a shame to just have in one game.
What you think, Ethos?
Yeah, Pragmata. I guess I want to see another one, but I kind of agree with Watts. It's going to be up to really how much did it sell? Did it sell enough? But I feel like Capcom, at least from the way they were celebrating about it, we'll see whenever they had their investor talk or whatever. But it seemed like they were very excited about it. It was their new IP in a very long time. I think we won't hear a sequel about it for. It's probably going to be a while. Probably going to be 7-8 years before we even hear anything about this. Because I'm imagining if there's any franchise up next, it's probably going to be Devil May Cry. They're probably working on Devil May Cry right now. That's my guess. It's probably Devil May Cry is probably their next big thing that they're currently working on privately, internally.
Did you see the titles that they want to nurture? It was Mega Man, Dragon's Dogma, Devil May Cry.
Oh, you know what? They did tease some Mega Man stuff.
No Beautiful Joe?
Nah, the Beautiful Joe isn't.
Joe. I don't think so.
What's the temperature on Dragon's Dogma? What's the temperature on Dragon's Dogma?
I don't know. I really like Dragon's Dogma.
I liked it. It was cool for what it was.
It's it kind of came and went. Like people were super excited about it because they haven't had it in a long time, but then it just quickly fell off.
I'd like to see them do more with it. I think that pawn system in Dragon's Dogma is really cool.
That was cool.
They do a really good job of making you feel like you're on an adventure with an adventure crew, and the way that they do traversing the area at nighttime being super dangerous. I just love that part of Dragon's Dogma, and the combat I think is sick.
Combat was actually pretty good. Did anybody ever beat that game in here?
I did.
Anybody you played?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did it.
I remember.
I felt the first half of that game was. I would say it would if the game would have ended in the first half of the game. I would have said it would probably been a Game of the Year nomination for me. But that second half of the game, when you get to the canyon, the game once you get past the allure of the canyon and how beautiful the game just falls apart. The story falls apart. The ending was terrible. The combat was really redundant. Everything in the first half of the game, it just repeats in the second half. There's no new bosses, monsters. I was like, I'm fighting the same thing again. So I was like, I
there's
need
no
them to flesh
variety.
it out more.
That's what you told me.
Gotcha.
Because you told me too. You said when you start seeing canyons, he's like, you might want to turn it off. And I said, okay. I saw the canyons, like turn it off. I said, I did not beat it.
Just to get to the
going-
end of the movie. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're going back to Pragmata, of course. I mean, absolutely. I want to see another one. I'm hoping that the numbers that they saw from a brand new IP, Capcom, that did convince you that you can do it. You know, you can make brand new IPs and people will be excited enough to purchase it. You know, minus all the noise that game ended up getting, it's still sold, in my opinion, pretty well. But again, you never know what their goals are, what their metrics are. So this is why I'm also hoping, because I think that this also falls on the lines of other games. So I'm hoping that Onimusha also does well.
It's going to do good.
Because that will also show Capcom that, hey, like, not only can we do new IPs, but we can bring our old franchises back, and that'll really, really open the floodgates, in my opinion, to Capcom really looking at some other titles, and like Beautiful Joe, for example, and seeing what they can do to bring that franchise back too. So we'll see.
The thing that I have hope with like Pragmata sales is that this was made by a younger team. It's not made by like Capcom OGs and they've got like a 20-year veteran working on it. This was like a younger team kind of.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell. Yeah.
So I think maybe they might have different expectations of like, we had this younger team kind of, you know, making their own game. So I hope they have different expectations. Kind of with Night Rain. Night Rain was also like, here's a younger team. Let them make their game and put it out and experience that and get a bunch of dev experience under their belt. So
the way Pragmata ended, I agree. I feel like they left it open enough to where if they wanted to explore something for a sequel, they definitely could. And I would hate for this game to become like a new Vanquish where it just gets left on a certain console and we never get like another sequel. So I'm hoping that it reaches the metric sales because I really enjoyed the game. But we don't know exactly what it is that they're looking for in terms of sales. Going back to what you were saying, though, about the Onimusha thing, Jay, I agree. We got to support it if we want to see more. But what I will say is, now that I think about it, in comparison to the other games that Capcom has released this year, I do feel like Onimusha is fighting the most uphill battle. And Pragmata was a new IP, but the thing about Pragmata is at least it had its own space to breathe so people could talk about it at least for like a month. I feel like if when we found out, matter of fact, let me just go into the lightning round. I'm gonna go ahead and share
go ahead and segue into it, man.
Let's get into the lightning round. So this literally just broke like right before we started recording. This is on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors Reddit. Take it with a grain of salt, but it's coming from a leaker, a reputable leaker that predicted Assassin's Creed Resynced would be announced, as well as the Rayman Enhanced Edition and some other stuff. So some people are saying it might be true. They're claiming Onimusha will soon be announced that it's coming out September 25th, 2026. And that's why I just said that out of all the Capcom games, this one's going to have the hardest hill to fight up, because if it comes out in September, it's going to be competing with Wolverine. It's going to be competing with Phantom Blade Zero. And then if you want to count the games around it, it's going to be competing with Avatar, Marvel Token, GTA 6, Call of Duty. Like it's going to be surrounded by very popular games. And no matter how good your game is, some of these games are going to fail because people only have so much money and so much time. And then on top of that, another asterisk, I'm going to go as far as to say Onimusha might as well be a new IP. I know it's not. We know it's not because we're old. But to these young folks, they don't know what Onimusha is because JG didn't have gray in his beard the last time that came out.
You're right. I've been through a lot, man. Been 14 years.
So I'd argue this is a reboot. They gonna have to treat it like it's new IP. I'm gonna be there to support it, but I do feel like this game, when I think about it, it's gonna fight an uphill battle for attention.
Yeah, just to give you guys like some dates on stuff. So September 3rd is Blood of the Dawnwalker, which people are interested in because it's ex-Witcher devs. And, September 9th is Phantom Blade Zero, and September 15th is Wolverine.
Oh my God.
I hate it, bro. I really don't want this to be true. I really don't want this to be true. Like, of course I want a date. That the one thing I've been waiting for all year is a date. Capcom, please don't do this. Like, this is one of my favorite franchises of all time. Like, avoid September, please. I know what you would be trying to do if this is true. And everybody's trying to avoid GTA 6. We know that is the behemoth that is going to destroy gaming as we know it. Everybody's going to be all glued to that and nothing else. But please, if you can push the game up, we've seen some games get pushed up, like Pragmata, for example. Pragmata got pushed up. I need for you to push the game up to August, do late August or
End
something.
of August. Yeah.
July's open too, if possible, but July.
Or do October. I'm not going to be mad at October. Give me a chance to breathe a little bit. Give me October. Push the game back. If you're saying September 25th, push it a little bit back so we can enjoy that. But I see I'm gonna have to get the katana out. Clearly, I'm gonna have to be spamming like every day. Just have schedule posts. Go buy Onimusha because. I'm gonna have to do some advertising, free advertising of my own. I don't know how much marketing dollars y'all are planning on spending on Onimusha. I see y'all doing like the constant like dev diaries and stuff. Like the Onimusha Twitter is pretty active. They're still actually posting stuff, but y'all going to have to do a little bit more advertising for sure. Because if you do this in September, it's going to get pushed along the wayside. People are not going to care about this game. They will skip this game for Wolverine and Phantom Blade Zero. I'm telling you right now, Capcom. So if you're
Don't worry, JG. I'm gonna post some thirst trap shorts about the characters in Onimusha. That will be the advertising.
All right. we go
Somebody
ahead
just
and
whipped
get
out
to
their
it.
phone. Let me put that in my calendar. September 25th. Let's go.
We gotta do some watch cosplaying or something, man. I don't know.
I actually don't agree with what you're saying with the October. If they push it back to October, it still has to compete with GTA 6, Call of Duty, and other games. I'm gonna be honest. If they don't drop it July or August, you might as well push that bitch back to February, bro. Just go early 2020. Yeah, do early next year. Don't put it in this.
No, they're doing it this year.
You gotta do a Fable.
We gonna talk about that too, man.
I mean, I can pivot to that too. That's the next one. So Onimusha is rumored to be September 25th. Keep in mind, it's not.
I'll be
confirmed.
playing it. It's sick. I played it. It's really good. People will really like it. It's a really special game, I think.
You heard it here first.
Also, it's Capcom, so there's probably going to be a free demo that's pretty extensive at some point.
Nice. The official Xbox account took to Twitter and they announced that they are pushing back Fable to 2027, specifically February. They decided to get out of the way for Grand Theft Auto. Matter of fact, they actually listed it. They listed a bunch of games. They say Gears of War, Call of Duty, Control, Star Wars, Grand Theft Auto. Nah. That's the last one is the one they're worried about. They just wanted to include other people. Nah, you worried about Grand Theft Auto. And you know what? I respect it. I think Fable was big enough to where it could compete, but like they're probably trying to maximize their dollar because Fable has been in development for some time. I respect that they're pushing it back. What y'all think?
I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because like Fable, I would say it's not like a direct competitor with GTA, but it's pretty close, right? It's like it's an open world kind of sim type game. So I think there's definitely a crossover. There's a crossover with every game in GTA because of just the behemoth that it is. But Fable and GTA, I think, has more of a crossover than like Phantom Blade Zero and GTA, for example. So I think it's smart. They've been working on this game for a really long time. It looks really good. I want it to have a bit of breathing space. Although February ain't never a breathing space. February and March are packed.
That February always kicks off gaming season, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like, because I mean, I would have to look back on some years as like what games came out in February and March. I don't remember February and March, like Q1 being this damn deep. Like it's been pretty crazy the past few years, I would say, those few months, but.
They do
It's
that.
That's
Capcom kicking it off.
Every time
it's Asian devs actually, because that's the end of their fiscal year, so they're trying to get everything out right.
That's why it's easier
Every
to do.
time I gotta hear about a Resident Evil game coming out in February, or here comes
Monster Hunter Wilds expansion might be next February.
That's why it's easier to do a weekly gaming podcast versus when we started all those years ago, damn near 15 years ago, because the news wasn't as fast and games weren't dropping as fast. That's why I think it's bullshit when people say gaming is dead. It's too much content now, I'd argue.
Way too much. But yeah, going back to Fable, they had to do it. Like we spoke about this. We were like, nah, I don't think y'all want to do that. I think they waited to the very last moment because there had been a ton of like rumblings now from Take-Two, doubling, tripling, quadrupling down, saying, nah, this game is coming out in November. So I think that they were maybe like, hey, there might be a chance that it won't be delayed any further. And now that, we got the big wigs, basically confirming this to come out in November, they're like, all right, we're going to go ahead and move. We're going to get out the way.
Not gonna lie, it would be pretty funny if they delayed into February. If it was like, fuck.
They were like, man, they did it again. We're going to go.
We're back in October.
We're bringing it back. It's actually
back. We're dropping next week now.
They're like, we tried, but no, now it's going to come out February. We did hit the mark. We want to make sure that Grand Theft Auto 6 is the best game you've ever played in existence, the best piece of entertainment you have ever seen in your life.
Man.
Also, according to the gaming leaks and rumors, Control Resonant release date is leaked to be June 30th of this year. Do we believe
that's
this
1 month?
I would be happy about that.
I would be happy about it. It's like there's a decent time. There's not a whole lot coming out in July, and there's nothing really in June. Although that's probably next week we're gonna turn up and be like, guys, there's like 17 games coming out in June, July, August.
They could announce those dates.
Yeah, they could. But I'd be down for that.
We're going to see. Yeah, I said it when we were like going over all the games that would come out this year. I said outside of Onimusha, Control Resonance is my most anticipated this year. So I'm ready to play it. But like I said, I need a good summer banger. Like after this wave of these 3 games that I'm playing now, I need a good summer banger. So I think that, this could potentially be it if this is real. So I'm hoping that we get a June, July for Control Resonance. Let me get it out the way and then get ready for Q4. Then we're going to be a doozy.
It just never stops.
No, man, never stops, bro.
Energy drink sales are going up Q4.
Nintendo, please save me, bro. Please drop Fire Emblem in August. Please, because I know this could be a $100 game. Please don't drop that in the middle of September. I'm begging you. Please don't do it.
You bought a Switch 2 recently or something?
No.
I'm
gonna have to.
Okay.
You know what?
That's a good question. Let me see.
Fucking.
I hope so. I can play it on my Switch. Let's see.
They said they focusing on Switch 2 development, so I don't see that coming to the Switch 1.
Hold on, I'm checking.
They said like a month or 2 ago that was their focus.
Well, I'm gonna need to go get myself a Switch 2.
Yeah, go ahead, GameStop Bishop. You become the GameStop Bishop. Go ahead and sell some
GameStop. Let's see if they hook me up. Let's see. Nintendo Switch is going for how much now? Damn.
Tekken 8 announced. I don't know how to pronounce this dude. Yujiro Hanuma from Baki. Yeah, I haven't seen Baki. We're the Baki fans. You sound like one, Watts. What's
I'm not like a Baki fan, but the art is really ridiculous, and I'm very curious how that's going to translate into Tekken because they are very different stylistically. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what he actually looks like in the game.
You said this dude was like a terrorist or something, didn't you, Ethos?
Hey, what do you want me to tell you about it? What do you want to know about his work?
I'm not watching the show, so you can spoil it. I don't care.
This guy is crazy. This man's insane. He beat up his son, watched his son procreate with his girlfriend to create himself a grandson that would be worthy of beating up, is abusive, does grape Trump and Elon, actually lore canon, an actual psychopath. He is so powerful that, in fact, he has treaties with almost every other country in the world so that he doesn't fight within their countries or doesn't go to war with their countries, as he is a one-man entity. And he beat his son up so bad to the point that they sat down together and he literally made noodles out of air. And he handed a bowl of air to his son, and his son was so grateful and ate air thinking it was noodles and was just thinking in his brain, oh my God, thank you, Dad, for making this bowl of ramen for me. You just look at some. Oh, and then on top of that, he beat up Muhammad Ali.
This dude sounds like. Have you seen?
This show is ridiculous.
Have you seen My Hero? Have you seen My Hero?
Yeah, I've seen.
He sounds like an Ultra Instinct Endeavor to me, like just on another level of fuckery. Before Endeavor had his redemption arc, basically.
He's like, he would be like a more evil, like if Endeavor never redeemed himself and was just an abusive father. He's like that,
and
but
had muscles on muscle.
Yeah.
This show,
muscles.
I'm not gonna lie, I watched Baki. Baki's actually it's one of those shows where it's like how do I describe it? Think of it like JoJo Bizarre Adventure. Yeah. It's kind of like that insanity.
But boxing.
Yeah. But
it's boxing? I thought it was wrestling.
He beat him up.
No.
He fought
I might be interested then.
If it's boxing,
I think you would like it. I think you would like it.
Obama's in there. Yeah.
He fought Muhammad Ali. He beat him up, and then he said, "You know what, bro? I got the utmost respect for you."
I might have to check that one out.
I think you'd like it.
You a real one.
I need something to watch because I just finished Darth Maul, which is fucking fire.
You should watch Baki. I'll show it. It's a little crazy.
It's a little over the top.
I started watching Baki, and I don't know why I stopped, but I think I'm gonna get back into it.
But genuinely, there's some moments that I was literally on the floor laughing, like it was that hilarious. So you might like it. Yeah.
Evo registration leaderboard. It dropped. And we got Street Fighter 6 at number 1, Tekken 8, 2XKO, Rivals of Aether, Guilty Gear.
Oh, say that again.
2XKO at number 3, Rivals of Aether number 4, Guilty Gear Strive number 5, Invincible all the way down at number 8. Insane. Does this surprise you, Jay? You're a big Evo fan.
Rivals of Aether should get disqualified because I heard that Ludwig paid for everybody's entry, so that's a fraud.
I was wondering why that was up there.
I was too. Somebody reminded me. I said, "Oh yeah, I forgot. This man loves this game so much that he paid for everyone's entry." So yeah, that's a fraud. We're going to skip that one.
So wait, how many people entered?
That's a good question. I don't know the exact numbers, but he definitely got a good number for them to be number 4 and had a potential to be on Sundays. Nah, he did some stuff. We
gotta watch some bullshit. Don't nobody want to watch, bro.
Oh, I'm hoping they don't put it on Sunday, but we'll see.
Isn't the game good though?
Right. Well, I never played Rivals of Aether, so I don't know.
I don't think it's a bad game. I played the first one. It's not a bad game, but it's just like it's not Smash, bro.
Isn't it like Melee? Like I thought the whole point was like
that's why he did it. That's why he did it because they can't play Smash Brothers anymore at Evo. Right. They're done. So this is the closest that they're going to get. So that was part of his agenda for paying for everyone's entry. So I don't know how many entries they have. I'll look it up in a second. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, it's pretty standard. But yeah, Invincible is going to get dunked on because it's number 8. It just came out. So that's going to be a Friday. Probably grand finals.
It's not going to be a fighting game. It's not
going to be a Friday grand final. It sucks, man, because it has so much potential, in my opinion. But we're pretty much going to be waiting on Token and Avatar. I'm really concerned about Avatar because if Avatar is really good and like the FGC picks it up, man, that's gonna be funny as hell. But I know Token's gonna be I think Token is a stand-in for a top 5. Shout out to 2XKO, man. Shout out to 2XKO being number 3 though. So you got it, Etho. They back, man. So we could potentially see that on Sunday for sure. It had a resurgence. Did not
prevail.
It had a resurgence, but everything else is pretty standard here on this list. Vampires of Savior still being here is interesting.
I had to look up what that was. I was like, oh, it's Darkstalkers. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Under Night is still churning along. We're gonna see what that new virtual fighter. I wonder how that's gonna.
Oh, we get some footage.
Yeah, so that's gonna tell. But yeah, pretty standard. So we'll see. But no Mortal Kombat, man. We're done with Mortal Kombat, bro. Mortal Kombat's out of here.
It's not good.
Yeah, bro. It's not even in the top. It's not even in the top 12 here, man. It's just not on the list, man. Like I feel so sorry for NRS, bro. Feel so sorry for them.
I seen a tweet too a couple weeks ago. Somebody tweeted out like right after you could see the PlayStation viewership. Somebody tweeted out that it had like 10,000 plus players that week, and it had more than like Street Fighter on PlayStation. And they were like, who said Mortal Kombat dead? Look at the player count, it's bigger, bro. Like, yeah, like you guys are playing like the casuals because you get to do stupid shit in that fucking game, but it's not a real fighting game, just like Invincible's not a real fighting game. The devs should be embarrassed. They should be in the top 5. Year 1, that should tell you how unbalanced your game is and a joke it is. And that's the same thing with like Mortal Kombat. That's really what it comes down to. So it is what it is, man. I'll be watching though. It's still gonna be fun. Love to see the competition. Plague's Tale Legacy. Amazon listed it, a leaked Amazon listing in Australia leaked it, and it was posted as August 27th. The only problem with it is the price is $94. Some people are saying that they believe the release date is real. It's just that price is a stand-in. Are we okay with this release date if it turns out to be true?
You would for sure. You looking forward to it.
I love this game. Absolutely. I'll play it.
Yeah.
It was August 27th.
So a week before, they had a little bit of time to play it.
Yeah.
A week before what?
Phantom Blade.
Oh yeah. That's about how long we play these games now these days anyway, so that works. A good week.
There you go.
And last but not least, Destruction All-Stars has been removed from the PlayStation Store. You can no longer play it. If you guys don't remember this was that racing combat car game that came out on the PS5 around the launch. I knew this game was going to die because Nomad loved it, and that's all I wanted to say. Does anybody else want to add anything to the podcast before we wrap this
Marathon Season 2, baby. Marathon Season 2.
Marathon.
No, Bungie is cooking. It's on Tuesday, June 2nd. Yep.
So you guys can watch the state of the play and then hop on the marathon.
I'm gonna be playing Marathon Reset, which is 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm gonna take a break and then I'm gonna come back. Okay. But yeah, it's Bungie's cooking, man. They have new enemies that are being added. They're adding a new map, which is the nighttime version of Dire Marsh, and it's not just like, oh, it's the map but in the dark. They have new events there, new enemy types. They've opened up new buildings. You now have to, it kind of plays, for anyone who is playing, it's kind of plays like Outpost, where you have to, or Cryo, where you have to get stuff in order to get out. You got to get credentials to get out of the map. They've got a new class coming. They've got new weapons. They've got new mods, new gun attachments. They've got new equipment. They're adding a lot for season 2. And it looks really, really, really good. I'm excited.
I feel that.
Athos is excited.
I can't wait. I was gonna say lose all my loot, but I'll be starting at 0. So
we're starting fresh, baby.
Everybody losing their loot.
Everyone's losing their loot.
And that it's not a free weekend, right? It's a full week.
It's a free week, yeah, from June 2nd to June 9th. You can just jump in.
Form your
and
own
also,
opinion.
everyone's starting from fresh, so you're not going to be running into people with like crazy loot. Everyone's on the same playing level.
You will have time. Yep.
Give it a go. I'm excited.
All right. Well, if nobody else has anything else they want to add, Watch, you're already talking. What's your closing statement for Game Illuminati episode 192? Go.
I am predicting Bloodborne 2 for State of Play. I'll let you know if it comes true on Tuesday.
Why do you do this?
They keep hyping up this State of Play. Something big's happening. It's probably God of War, isn't it?
It's the pirates. It's the pirates from Software Game.
I keep saying, Miyazaki, you feeling piratey? You feel a little Seven Seas-y recently?
Pirates.
I feel a little salty. Something big's happening. I don't know what it is. Something big.
Freaking Ethos, what's your closing statement for episode 192? Go.
I want to bring up something somebody said, which is crazy, is we went through a whole generation and Naughty Dog has not released anything new in this whole generation of PS5, and I didn't realize it.
Yes, they did.
What did they release? That's new.
Season 1 and 2 of the show.
No, shut up.
They gave us some great news.
I watched it on my PlayStation. So.
We would have had Last of Us Online, but they got rid of that, so we don't have anything. So while Watts wants to be in La La Land, believing that Bloodborne's real, I'll be more realistic. I'll say I think it's going to be Naughty Dog's Intergalactic. They're going to show some new look at it. Maybe that's why.
We got to see something.
Yeah, my guess is they're going to show that.
Hope so. Want to see more of it.
JG, closing statement. Go.
I do want to since we were, talking about marathon and stuff, I did see someone through their anger and delusion say that Halo wasn't very good. And I know that we slander 343/Halo Studios for what they have done after Bungie gave it up to them, but we will not sit up here and lie and act like Halo 1 through 3 was not goated. I'm sorry.
Whoa,
Halo 2.
Reach 2. Throw that in there.
No, me personally, I do not. No, I don't mention reach.
No,
I don't mention reach.
Love that game.
No, y'all know how I feel about reach, man. Fuck that game, man.
I
Y'all
love that game.
that Mickey Mouse shit, man.
Flashbacks of Armor Lock, and he said,
No, Armor Lock, man. That bullshit. Anyways, Halo 2, y'all cannot forget, man. That single-handedly like really started the online multiplayer for consoles. So I'm not going to let y'all disrespect Halo 1 through 3. I'm sorry. You can't do that, regardless of how you feel. And then someone else was like, man, but Gears was better than Halo. I'm like, are we talking about that right now? I was like, personally, I like the Gears story better, but I was like, Halo 3 was literally my life, bro. That was the time. So we're not going to go that route.
I watched this video the other day on YouTube. It was a video essay, and they were breaking down the concept of why younger, because I'm not going to put the older Gen Z, because the older Gen Zs, they're kind of like in between, but the younger Gen Z and Gen Alpha, the reason why they disrespect a lot of older media and they only acknowledge the newer stuff, they were making the argument is that's like the first generations where they didn't have to watch reruns. They didn't have to get the hand-me-downs on the video games from their older brother and stuff like that. They're raised by algorithms. So like our generation, we know what our music our parents like, and we like that stuff in games, but that's why they don't know that stuff. And I think that's why you get commentary like, oh, Halo was trash, it didn't do nothing, but you sat there and broke down the history. That's also why we're getting arguments of people like, yeah, Drake's better than Michael Jackson. Shut the fuck up, bro. And it's because they just don't engage with old media, which is unfortunate because it's an example of how technology is a blessing and a curse. We're all victims of the algorithm, basically. I thought it was a really good video. I wish I could remember the name of it, but for my final statement, I'm gonna shout out an indie game this week. I got one for y'all. This one came across my Twitter timeline. I thought it looked pretty cool. It's called Tiebreakers. On the Steam page, it says it's a shonen run and gun. Show your skills and save the world. Make your shots explosive. Make your parry intense. Even with the inner weakness coming up, only you can do it. Basically, it's like Metal Slug, but it's like sports based. So like you play a chick with a tennis racket who's going and just beating people down. The art style is really fire. It's a bullet hell type of game. I thought it was a unique take on like the bullet hell style things. I thought the art was really cool. And I was like, I'll shout this one out because I thought that's what we was doing. But it looks like I'm the only one that came this week with something to show.
That's two indie games from you. I mean, I talked about Stone Machia. I'm going to I'm going to shill for that game until the end of time. That game is so good.
Oh, here, I got you. I was telling Cammy about this. If you are a Sims player, there's a new Sims on the block.
All right, hold on. Before you say it, I just want to clear my name. Y'all don't see it, but you're going to see it on the video version. Y'all saw it. I'm not logged into fucking Steam. I clicked the Steam. I clicked the search because I'm about to search what you were talking about. The first thing that comes up is Freshman Project Sec.
Yeah, Paralyzed. I saw a TikTok about this from one of my favorite newer TikTokers. I forgot his name. Forgive me, but he says dag, and he's funny. He does this whole like cool little commentary where like he acts like he has like a god complex, and that like he's talking about like how he treats his Sims like he abuses the Sims in his universe. Like he's like, if you don't work hard, you don't get to eat, and da da da. It's pretty funny. I don't know the wording of it. If I find his name, I'd shout it out. I'll remember next time. But he had posted something about this thing called Paralyzed, which is I believe it's run by.
My girl was asking me about that game. She's like, "You think I should buy it?" Like, I was like, "Oh."
It's got pretty good reviews, and it's early access. But everybody that I've seen who's talked about this game has said like it's almost everything. It's a different art style from Sims, but they said it's like everything that they've wanted from EA to do with the Sims, but they haven't because they're too busy dropping money expansions over and over again. And I've just seen really positive stuff. So if you like the Sims but you haven't touched the Sims in a while, check it out. I'm not
8,000 reviews, very positive. Yeah, people seem to really fuck with this.
Yeah, it's very good. Or just wait till it comes out. But they got black hairstyles, so that's always a dub.
Yeah, all right.
Cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everybody listening to episode 192 of the podcast. If you made it this far into the show, leave a comment, hashtag 007 First Light. Leave a like on the video as well as hype it, and make sure to rate 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. You're listening to the audio version. Other than that, We appreciate everybody who came through to the show. Friendly reminder that this upcoming week is Summer Games Fest as well as State of the Play. It's basically E3 week. So there's going to be a ton of announcements. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm apologizing ahead of time if I forget to cover something. I'm going to do my best to try to find everything, and hopefully they'll probably check me if I miss something. But
I did my best too.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of info, and next week's episode is going to be really fun. I know a lot of y'all enjoyed that 3-hour podcast. Don't be surprised if another one comes. Matter of fact, this one was almost 3 hours. But anyways, we appreciate you. Hit the like button, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Game Illuminati podcast. Peace.